Two carries, 411 yards, and 4 touchdowns. But more importantly, how about the fact that he is now first in career rushing yards at UINDY after breaking that record last game against Ohio Dominican. The Greyhounds won the game, come from behind fashion, a pretty impressive game on the road in Columbus, Ohio. But Toriano, number 1, and now career rushing all-time with Indianapolis. He's tied for first in career total touchdowns, though. He is 1 touchdown behind the rushing touchdown list for all-time career numbers, so it'll be exciting to see if he can just get 2 rushing touchdowns today. He's going to break both those 2 records, and he's going to be the name to watch for today.
The crazy thing about him is he's just so versatile. You interviewed him earlier this week, and he said himself that he's a speed back, but he knows how to get gritty, he knows how to get in those trenches and run somebody over, and it's so fun to watch.
Yeah, and he is such an amazing player, and really how this team kind of just runs everything. All their offense runs through Toriano. As far as that goes, and of course, you've got to imagine one of the keys to the game is going to be running with Toriano Clinton, but what are your keys to the game for today's contest?
Well, we have 2 high-powered offenses here, so the keys to the game, who's going to score first, who's going to put points on the board, who's going to seize that momentum. That momentum is so crucial in these games. So, and who's going to get the first defensive stop, the first team that hold their ground against a high-powered offense. I mean, there's a good chance that every drive they're going to come down and put points on the board. So just taking away even 3-4 points every drive, that could be a big win.
We'll see how this game goes, as right now both teams' captains just met at the middle of the field and ready to get things underway. A very exciting matchup in front of us, and it was this same matchup last year where the Greyhounds were able to get the big win. They were on the road, traveled to Southwest Baptist. It's about a 7-hour drive that the Bearcats had to trek to get out here today, but it should be a pretty exciting matchup. Last year, it's the Greyhounds who won pretty handily, 77-10 in Ballin from Missouri. They do lead the all-time series 6-1, so it's really been all dominated by Indianapolis, and we'll see if that continues here today or not.
And trust me, the Bearcats remember last year, and they're coming back for revenge. 77-10 doesn't taste right after that game, so expect a better showing here tonight.
Looking at some key players here, and of course you talked about it a little bit, but for the Greyhounds, how about the quarterback, Connor Kennett? So far this year, 48 of 98, 661 yards and 8 touchdowns so far on the season. This is his first year as a starter, and he's played admirably.
Definitely. And alongside his running back, he's also very versatile. He's very mobile, and he loves to get everyone involved in the passing game, especially in the red zone. He has good pocket presence, and outside of the pocket, he's a threat both ways.
As far as these receivers for UIndy, a very impressive starting lineup. You've got 4 great receivers there, and then you've got, another 6, 7, 8 that can go behind them. There's just so much talent here in the receiver room for Indianapolis, but it all starts with Alonzo Derrick. He leads the team in receptions and yards with 17 and 246, and he's just been a monster for this team.
If Kennett has a guy, Derrick is definitely that go-to guy. If he's in trouble, he's looking for Derrick down the field.
He did look for Derrick on the last drive of that game against Ohio Dominican, where the Greyhounds were able to get that win and move into number 14 on the coaches' poll. That's their ranking as of right now, but it was him with 16 seconds left that Connor Kennett looked for, and we'll see if it's more of the same. We can find out right here as we've got the starting kickoff to go, and the Greyhounds are going to start on offense here. As that kickoff goes into the end zone, Jeremiah Lee picks it up, and we'll see what Jeremiah Lee can do here for Indianapolis, as he's busted one away before, and he takes a nice return there from the goal line to the 26-yard line, and that's where this drive is going to start.
Jeremiah Lee is a name that these Bearcats remember well. Their last outing, Jeremiah Lee had 4 scores in the first quarter, so they're definitely game planning for him today.
The offense coming out onto the field for Indianapolis, an offense that has been very efficient to this point on the season. And as far as passing yards, that's right around the same as the rushing yard mark, 226 passing yards a game, 231 on the ground, so a very balanced attack. And it's going to start here with Connor Kennett out of the shotgun formation. Lee's on the run, but it'll be a fake handoff, and the quarterback keeper to start things off. How about that? Connor Kennett with the rush on first down. That'll only gain about a yard, but really shows what he can do. He's gonna get his legs out there pretty often. Nice tackle there by Matt Lockard.
It's definitely on the scouting report, the speed that this QB has. For as big as a guy he is so mobile, and the defense has to watch out for that.
Now we've got a 2nd down and long. We'll see how the Greyhounds can come back after just a gain of 1 on the last play. Clinton, the running back, he'll fake the handoff. Kennett now flushed out of the pocket. He's looking deep. Connor Kennett has got a man open. Gillum. Oh, it's dropped, incomplete. Gillum was open, just a little underthrown, and that's what happens when you're the fastest man on the field. Marquez Gillum streaking down.
That's 2 play-action plays in a row, and that's just one of the effects that Toriano Clinton has on this defense. He is an automatic intention, or he automatically implies the fact that he's so dangerous with the ball, and they have to guard that run first, which leaves the pass open.
3rd down and long after the incomplete pass. This is a big one, trying to avoid the stalled drive to start things off. Here's Connor Kennett. He's going to look to throw again. 2nd time in a row. Flushed out of the pocket. Kennett could take it himself. He will. Oh, and he's tripped up. He dove forward but did not get enough for the 1st down. And maybe this is a spot where the Greyhounds want to go for it. It's going to be about a yard short. Caden, what do you think?
Man, if he didn't get that ankle, he might have been off to the races there. That's just a shoelace tackle, and hey, call it luck or skill. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
A very impressive tackle from behind, and now the punt team's going to come out here with Ryan Zoller for Indianapolis. 14 punts this year, of course, just through 3 games. He's done pretty well in those limited attempts, about 40-yard average. His long has gone for 52, but it'll be 4th down and short. And there's a flag on the play, and this one could be big, Caden. It looks like they might actually have called a timeout before the flags come out, so pick up that laundry, and we'll give the timeout, the first one of the game here, and step aside and take a break here on UINDY TV. Back here at Key Stadium as the punt team comes on out following that first called timeout from Southwest Baptist. And now we'll get a chance to here momentarily take a look at the offense for Southwest Baptist, but not after we see Brennan Smith with his punt return. Here's Zoller. He bobbles the punt a little bit, but he gets it off. Looks like a pretty good one, Caden. Little bounce around, get the Greyhound bounce for a little bit before it's finally downed by Indianapolis.
And we saw the Bearcats get the stop they needed. Now we'll see if they can capitalize on it.
So now we'll see the Bearcats offense for the first time today. It's one of the better offenses in the GLVC. Cooper Collis so far this year, 72 of 109, 909 passing yards, and 8th in the nation is his 10 passing touchdown mark. He has thrown 3 picks this season, but he's just got a big arm on him, and he's got a few receivers that can really do some damage here, starting with Curtis Collard. What do you think of him?
Curtis Collard is an absolute unit. Standing at 6'4", 220 pounds. He is the ideal red zone threat for any offense.
1st down and 10 to start off this drive from the 33-yard line. Just a quick handoff and not a whole lot there from Abel Carter, the starting running back for this team, and only gain a couple yards. Get him out to the 35-yard line.
Abel Carter is another guy to watch today. He's had a solid year so far with, 6 TDs up to this point, and he is definitely a threat.
Week 1 GLVC Player of the Week. It was last week he had himself a pretty impressive outing against Lake Erie. 17 carries for 130 yards and that 1 touchdown. Also a threat out of the backfield, as we've seen this year. 7 catches for 91 yards. But here's 2nd down and long from the 35-yard line. Cooper Collis out of the shotgun. Bit of a bunch formation. That's a good one to hand off out of, and they sure do that. But how about the Greyhounds here getting in and making the 3-yard stop?
That front 4 just smothered the offensive line right there. There were 0 gaps for Carter to find.
So the loss of a few on 2nd down will set up a pretty big 3rd down here, and trying to avoid that stall, just like the Greyhounds on their offensive possession to open the game. They weren't able to convert on the 3rd down. We'll see if it's more of the same here for the other team. Southwest Baptist comes into this game at 2-2, but of course their 2 losses against very admirable teams. West Florida, perennially one of the best teams in the nation. They're top 15th ranked, and then Findlay also as well. both teams that made the playoffs last season. Here's the 3rd down and 10. A quick pass is caught by Preston Carson, but he doesn't get enough for the 1st down. That's going to bring out the punt team. You've got to imagine, right? Yeah, the punt team's going to come out here. Look like a little hesitation. Same with the Greyhounds, though. When you're on your own side of the field, you don't want to go for it and miss it because all of a sudden the other team has a great opportunity. So we'll see the punt team come out for the 1st time for the Bearcats. Logan Claiborne has had 15 punting opportunities this season, averaging about 33 yards per punt. His long has gone for 55 yards. It's a high punt, but he gets it off with not a whole lot of pressure. Look at this booming kick. It gets the Greyhounds roll, though. It'll bounce around the 20. We'll say it down at the 16-yard line of Indianapolis, maybe the 17-yard line. That's where the Greyhounds will have a second chance here. And what do you think they need to correct here? What did they not do as well last drive that they can correct here, Caden?
I think that they could definitely get Torriano more involved. I think that he can find the gaps, and the offensive line knows what they're doing. They can make the holes for him, and he'll find them, he'll hit them, and he can take it all the way downfield.
So the offense comes out onto the field for Indianapolis. At receivers, Frank Bentley to go along with that Jeremiah Lee and Alonzo Derrick starting duo. Clinton's the running back, though. Here's the first play of the drive. McNeilis is the man you see going in motion. Handoff does go to Clinton, his first of the day, and he tries to break it out to the outside. He'll only gain about a yard, so they try to get it to Clinton, but not a whole lot there. A gain of 1 puts him down at the 18.
Well, you know when they're watching film, the first thing that comes up is Torriano Clinton. So you can better believe that game plan is going to be designed to stop him, and hey, if a couple passes break through, then that's the way it goes.
Here's 2nd down and long from the 18-yard line. Looking to throw. It's a quick one. Caught this time by Steven Towns. Look at that move by Towns to move the chains. Gets past the 35 to the 36. Steven Towns Jr. from McKendree.
And that was just a beautiful move. He was showing off right there. Made the defense look silly.
Hurry up, trying to see if they can catch the defense off guard here. The offense back at the line of scrimmage following that big play, the first big play and the first down conversion of the game. Handoff goes to Clinton. He shakes off the first and lowers his shoulder, but Colton Smith, the brick wall on the other end. Colton Smith, probably the best linebacker in the nation last year, led the nation in tackles, and there you can see why he's such a force at that middle linebacker position.
Definitely. But as a unit, this Bearcat team is holding their own right now. They're holding their own with the guys up front, and it's showing in like the yards a game.
So after a gain of just 1, the ball's down at the 38-yard line. Connor Kinnett's going to stand out of the pistol. He'll take the snap, and it goes to that beast, Torriano Clinton. And look at him shaking and baking. He gets the crowd riled up for a gain of about 8. Put him down at the 41, maybe 46-yard line.
The blocking looked great there. The hole was wide open. He found it, he hit it, and he gained a good chunk of yards.
Jeremiah Lee enters the game as Kevin McNeilis to the sideline. Bit of a smaller lineup here at receiver. We'll see what Indianapolis can do, but how about this? A different look. They've got Lee, the wide receiver, in the backfield with Clinton. In motion is Lee. He's open if they want to. He will. The bubble screen. Jeremiah Lee still on his feet. Pretty big play, and he's brought down. The defense sniffed it out from the beginning, and Jeremiah Lee with nothing there loses 5 yards.
And I think the blocking by the wide receivers wasn't too bad, but the throw was just a little too late.
In the punt for UINDY will be Ryan Zoller, and back deep to receive once again number 7, Brandon Smith for the Bearcats.
So now the punt team comes out for the 2nd time today. How about this defense? They're playing pretty well here.
I'll be the first to say they're surprising me right now.
The end over end kick is caught, fair caught that is, by Southwest Baptist and Brendan Smith.
And the Bearcats will take over possession, 1st and 10.
So now, Caden, as the Bearcats come onto the field after stalling out their first drive with a 3-and-out, what do you think they can do to try to move the chains here? Greyhounds were able to a little bit, but we'll see if Southwest Baptist can follow suit.
I'm waiting for Collins to take that deep shot that he's known for, you know. The secondary has a tendency to cut routes and take gambles, and, hey, that could be high risk, high reward sometimes.
First down and 10. Here's the first play of the drive. It's just a handoff up the middle, and Carter can't find a whole lot there. How about the defense? A slew of Greyhounds making the play from Abel Carter. He'll lose a yard.
Yeah, Aaron Barnett, he got him in his arms, and he wasn't letting go for anything.
After the loss of 1, it'll be second down and long from the 29-yard line. And, of course, this Greyhounds defensive unit, especially that front 7, they are so dangerous, one of the best in the nation. Out of the shotgun, looking to throw. Here's Collis. He's pretty dangerous when he does this, but he gets sacked. How about that? He is brought down by Indianapolis and Michael Dennison.
You said it best. These guys are so athletic. And as an offensive lineman, it's scary to see guys that big and that fast coming at you.
So now a big play here, 3rd down and a mile. Probably going to have to see this Bearcats team go deep, of course, with this being a 3rd down and almost 20 yards, but that's where the Greyhounds defense has kind of struggled of late, especially last week and even at points in the week before, really not able to lock down in the secondary, so this could be a bit of an opportunity for this Bearcats team. It'll be a quick throw, though, and incomplete. How about that? As I start talking about the weaknesses, the strength of this secondary comes up. And how about Cavante Houston, one of the best players in the secondary, and makes a great play there one-on-one.
The Greyhounds kind of bluffed the blitz there, had 7 on the line, and then fell back into coverage, and it worked out well.
And now the punt team comes out again, and boy, I wonder if this is going to be what we're going to see for most of the rest of the afternoon, just each team trading blows on defense and a lot of punts.
That's definitely not what I expected to see. I thought both of these offenses were going to come out booming, but the defenses are making a statement right now.
A flag's down as Alonzo Derrick fair catches the ball, but we'll wait and see what the laundry on the field's all about.
1st and 10, ball will be spotted at their own 43-yard line.
As of right now, the field position stands at the 43-yard line, but we're waiting to see what the call is here.
Flag on the turf.
Looks like they're going to talk to Coach Keevers. And it sounds to me like it's going to be an illegal motion call. Coach Keevers decides to decline it. They'll just take the ball at the 43, and it's not a bad spot to start off your drive. Best field position today from either team. So the Greyhounds have tried a few different things on offense to this point, Caden. They've had Toriano with a few rushes on the ground. They've even tried a quarterback keeper to start off the game and gone through the air a couple times. Not a whole lot has worked, though. What do you suggest they try to do here early in this drive?
Well, I think they had the right idea with the wide receiver screens. If they could get their fast, athletic guys going downhill, then that could be a big problem for this Bearcat defense.
First down and 10, the first play of the drive here for Indianapolis. Just a handoff over to Clinton, and he busted out. Look at that, a first down and more at the 40, and he's finally tripped up and sent out of bounds, but not before a huge gain. Toriano Clinton, how about that?
As you were saying, Nathaniel, you were saying that he wasn't getting his, but now he was proving you wrong. He saw the gap, and he took it, and that was another shoestring tackle that if it's not made, that could be a touchdown.
Big tackle for the Bearcats.
Kennett's going to stand out of the gun after that big play on first down. Here's Toriano. No, it'll be a fake. Rolling out to his left, throwing it incomplete. Looking for flags, and there are none. In on the coverage on that play was Brendan Smith. Intended target was Marquez Gillum.
And you can see how the defense shifted in reaction to the play action, but Smith definitely held his coverage and did a great job.
Lenny Bennett enters the game at running back. Toriano gets a bit of a breather. We'll see what Bennett can do. And how about Toriano Clinton? I mentioned it before, but he has been struggling through asthma throughout his football career. So he's out here breaking the all-time rushing record. Meanwhile, has to go to the sideline every few plays for water and a breather. Here's Bennett, though, as he takes off. Not a whole lot there as the pile pushes him back. Not after a gain of a couple.
And that front line for the Bearcats is holding strong here.
Brighton Louie with that tackle at his linebacker position. He's got 21 tackles on the year. So now we look at a 3rd down and medium for this offense. In field goal range, or pretty close to it, although it would be a long field goal at this position. So now out of the spread. Looking to throw his Kinnett. He's got the time to do so. He can go deep if he wants. Now he's flushed out. No one's open. Kinnett to the end zone. Clinton intercepted. The first interception of the season from Connor Kinnett, and it's in the hands of Brendan Smith.
Well, Kinnett was showing off his mobility there, and he had the time to make a throw, but he just forced it, you know. It wasn't a very smart decision, but he's going to come back and make better ones.
He had 2 guys in the corner of the end zone there, but neither of them were really open. Seems like he was just too hurried with that, and that led to the big interception. That's his first of the season, though. You can't fault the guy for taking 4 weeks to throw his first pick.
I think he just got a little antsy there. There's been 0 scores up to this point, and I think he wanted to put some points up there on the board just to give his team the upper hand.
It's now a tall task in front of the Bearcats. There's a spider climbing up the window here in front of us that's had more movement than this offense has today as they're inside the 5. Quick handoff, looked like a read option, but maybe the wrong choice as Carter struggles to find any daylight. He gets back to the line of scrimmage at the 5. Brandon Smith made the play for Indianapolis.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the UINDY defense send a lot of pressure here, having him backed up against their own end zone.
They're definitely in a tough spot, though, this offense is, because you don't have a lot of room to work with. Only 5 yards from the line of scrimmage to what would give the defense 2 points, so you need to be careful. Trips formation to the far side, though. Keep an eye on that. It's going to be a toss out to that formation, and Preston Carson gets the catch, but loses a few feet. How about that? It'll be a 3rd down and 10 from the 5.
The play design was solid, but that UINDY secondary just read it like a book.
A nickel package comes into the game for this Greyhounds defense. They have 5 defensive backs. Let's give them 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and those 5 DBs trying to prevent this offense from going deep. Something they've done pretty well so far today, this defense has. Locking down in the secondary. Another trips formation to the near side. Collis with pressure. If he goes down to safety, and it is. It is a safety, and the Greyhounds score first, not via the touchdown, not via the field goal, but by a 2-point safety. The defense sacks Cooper Collis.
And that could be the play that turns the tide of this ball game right here. That is a momentum shifter.
And momentum shifters can be huge in front of a home crowd, especially at homecoming. And Dylan Shelton, how about that? He gets the sack.
And UINDY is a team that loves to score in bunches. Once they get going, they're so hard to stop.
And that's something that was very evident in the 77 points that they put up against Southwest Baptist last year. We'll see how this offense can operate here, but kudos to SBU's defense. They've done a great job today locking down the offense of Indianapolis.
This Southwest Baptist team came to play. They're not going to roll over after 1 score.
It is going to make things tough, though. Of course, it's going to be a bit of a modified kickoff. It's going to be a punt here after the safety, so it could set up Indianapolis with some decent field position as they had on the last drive, in which they were almost able to drive down the field before the interception from Kinnett. It's not very often, though, that you get points off your own turnovers. So they throw the interception near the goal line, and then the Greyhounds result in the 2 points. Typically, your points off turnovers is what the offense can do after the defense gets a stop, but here is the defense able to score for the offense because they've struggled to do so. the kickoff specialist, Logan Turner, to kick this safety off. It'll go away from the 20-yard line. Nice end over end kick. Marquez Gillum, the speedster, has it here. His first opportunity today to return a kick, and he gets tripped up, and after he runs his way past the 35 to the 36, and that's where the drive's going to start.
And since that first score is out of the way, the offense can take a deep breath now. They can play their game.
That last drive resulted in an interception for Indianapolis after they traveled 26 yards in 4 plays. New life here, a second chance for Connor Kennett, throwing his first pick of his young UINDY career. Clinton's the man in motion. He'll get the handoff here, the left tackle. He goes, and now look at that, diving through some hoops, and Toriano's off to the races. Toriano Clinton will score, move him into first place in total touchdowns as a UINDY Greyhound. And he ties Al McKellar's mark for rushing touchdowns wearing a Greyhound jersey. You see that nameplate, Toriano Clinton, beware of dog, and man is he one.
Clinton's shiftiness and the downfield blocking by Jeremiah Lee there, it just worked out to make a masterpiece.
And he's getting congrats from everybody on the sideline, fresh off breaking the career rushing all-time mark last week, and now he's looking to add a few more accolades to that studio. Here's the kick. It goes between the uprights, successful. 9-0. A bit of an odd score to start things off here as Indianapolis takes an early lead after 2 straight scores back-to-back. And with that, we'll step aside, return momentarily for kickoff next on UINDY TV. The number for UINDY. Back here in Indianapolis as the Greyhounds score quickly. And Caden, I would ask you how that drive went, but it was pretty obvious that it was just a one-play drive that led to that big touchdown from Toriano. And how do you think that's going to parlay into success for the rest of the game?
Well, I would say it's safe to say UINDY has seized the momentum here. And it's one uphill battle to upset that momentum.
And suddenly maybe this is where the floodgates open and the Greyhounds can pile up some scoring. We'll see if that's the case here or not. Ready to kick this one away will be Colin Seymour, the freshman. Pretty impressive as a kicker, but here he is as a kickoff specialist. It's a high end over end kick. Picked up by Southwest Baptist, and not a whole lot there for him as he fair catches it, but it's Abel Carter. So now we'll see the Southwest Baptist offense, fresh after a sack in the end zone, led to 2 points for Indianapolis. We'll see if they can get things going. So far this season, averaging 236 passing yards a game off the arm of Cooper Collis. About 200 rushing yards a game as well. Pretty balanced offense in their own right.
Definitely. It's about 50-50, and that balanced play calling makes it hard on a defense to play.
First down and 10. Spread formation here. They like to get as many receivers on the field as they can. Trying to rely on the arm of Collis. They're down, so they're going to have to. As another sack. How about that? Indianapolis gets in the backfield for yet another sack as Aaron Barnett makes the tackle.
That UINDY defense is so good at sending pressure. So good at sending pressure. They keep the offense out of rhythm, and that's why they're so good.
We'll see how they can do it. And it's pretty impressive that they can send pressure without blitzing a whole lot, right? It's typically these front four that all get the sacks. You know, we've seen 3 sacks so far today, all from defensive linemen. They don't need to bring linebackers or DBs. They can just stick with that front four, and they get plenty of pressure. Here's the second down and long following the sack on first down, and nothing there for Carter. This defense with the clamps. And maybe a gain of 1.
And once again, it's that front four you were talking about. It's such a luxury to have those front four and them having the ability to put as much pressure on as they do. And it just takes so much pressure off the defensive backs, and they can play their coverage and play the pass better.
Kiave Guerrier with the coverage. One of many hounds to get in the backfield there and form that brick wall that Carter tried to run through with not much success. Now we're going to have to see a pass here, I would imagine, on 3rd down and long. Ball's down at the 26-yard line. Looking to throw, the pressure comes. Quick little flick to the outside, and it's enough to move the chains. Finally a first down. Finally some life for this offense as Curtis Colliard gets the catch.
And that's really the first time that the Greyhound defense has been caught on their heels, kind of fading back.
First down and 10 from the 38-yard line, and now maybe some momentum can be opened up for the offense as they haven't seen a whole lot of success whatsoever. Here's the handoff. Carter gets it, and again, a brick wall gets him. Benjamin Hanias won to make the play along with Barnett.
And these shotgun runs are designed to get the running back going downhill, but when you only have 2 steps and the defender's right there, there's not much to get going.
2nd down and 11 from the 37. Out of the shotgun, again a spread formation, and now it could be a free play. It is. Launch it downfield. They get the first down. So the penalty will be declined. We'll count the 10-yard reception as the one that they're going to keep. And how about this? Curtis Collard, again, the team lead in receptions, yards, and touchdowns this season. He does a good job there.
And he's just such a reliable option because there's not many guys on any defense that can jump up with him.
Tackle was credited at number 9, Brandon Thomas. However, the penalty will be enforced.
Near midfield now after that nice,
Now first and 10 for the Bearcats from
the nice gain on that previous play. Now we've got trips formation to the near side. Out of the shotgun, Collis. With limited time here to go in the first, launches it downfield. He's got a guy open, incomplete. Flags fly, probably a defensive pass interference.
The defensive back there just wasn't looking for the ball, and it might cost him here.
Kylan Herrera, the intended receiver for the Bearcats. And back in coverage for Indianapolis was Corey's Crawford. So we'll move him up 15 yards. That'll also stop the clock, so we'll stick around here for just a little bit longer. But again, at the end of this quarter, we're going to head down to the sideline with our sideline reporter in Sydney Smith and hear her thoughts on the first quarter to this point, see what she's been able to find out down on the sideline. Again, a 4-receiver set with those 3 on the bottom of the screen. Handoff goes, and Carter finally finds his longest gain of the day. Give him 10 yards and move the chains.
And the Bearcat offense countered a blitz on the outsides with a run through the insides, which led a gaping hole.
And kudos to Carter for finding that gap and finally able to find some daylight. That'll give him plenty of confidence here moving forward as Collis looks to throw to the end zone. Is it caught? Still waiting. It looks like it's been intercepted. How about that? Indianapolis goes up to make the catch.
Coverage doesn't get much better than that. He was on him the entire way there, and as I was saying, that's a reliable option, but the coverage was just impeccable.
Brandon Thomas gets the interception. How about that? It looked like it could have been a touchdown reception in the corner of the end zone as the intended receiver was Curtis Colliard, but instead, Brandon Thomas making a great play. Hasn't seen a lot of time this year, Caden, but he steps up big with that pick in the goal line.
And that was not a bad throw by any means. That was in the receiver's hands, but the coverage, he was able to knock it out, and he was fumbling the ball around for a second, even came down with the interception.
Thomas, the redshirt freshman, has made it a knack of his to make some big plays. In his homecoming last week, heading back to his hometown in Columbus, Ohio. He's from near that area. He was able to block a kick and just make a few all-around great plays on special teams. Led to a fumble recovery on special teams, and there he's able to come up in that limited opportunity. Comes up on as a cornerback, hasn't seen a lot of playing time at corner, and makes the interception. We'll see what the offense can do now here. Just a little bit of time left before the quarter break. It's going to be a handoff to Clinton. The last one went for 61 yards. This one goes for 10. Out past the 25 to the 29-yard line goes Clinton. That'll be enough to move the chains.
And Clinton gets a lot of his touches as well from the shotgun. and that allows him to get downhill. And when Clinton goes downhill, there's not many people on this planet that can stop him.
A nice job by Jeremiah Scroggins to make the tackle and stop what could have been a lot worse of a gain. There will be a holding penalty, though, so drop the offense back, so pretend that didn't happen, and now all of a sudden it'll be first down and 20 instead of a first down and 10 from further up the field following that run. Looks like they were going to call that holding penalty against Ryan Ritchie, the right tackle. Clinton stays in the game, and this will be the last play of the quarter. In all likelihood, it'll be a handoff. Toriano Clinton slips down and falls past the 10 to the 11-yard line, and that'll set up a pretty big second down and long. But first, how about we head down to the sideline with our sideline reporter, Sydney Smith. Sydney, what do you have for us?
Thank you, guys. Exciting happenings here down on the sideline. Toriano Clinton breaks the rushing record on homecoming weekend yet again. The Greyhounds had an interception, and they answered decisively as Indianapolis goes up 9-0 for an exciting first quarter. I am super excited to see how the rest of this game goes, so be sure to stick around on UINDY TV.
Life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Back here at Key Stadium is the Greyhounds coming back after a pretty exciting first quarter. Started with a couple defensive stops from each team, but then all of a sudden the Greyhounds able to get things going. A 61-yard touchdown rush from Toriano Clinton, and then the safety that happened just a couple plays before that really gave the Greyhounds what they needed. They get the interception in the end zone, and now a long field in front of them, though.
Like you were saying, that safety was really the spark plug that got this team going, and they haven't looked back since.
Second down and very long as Kennett's all alone in the backfield. Throws this one down. He's got a guy open just out of the outstretched arms of Jaquan Buchanan.
And he had him beat there, but he might have just overprojected his speed.
Man, what could have been there is Buchanan was just streaking wide open down the sideline. Something we've seen a few times from each team now. But a bit of coverage lapses. Hasn't amounted to anything too substantial, but now we've got a third down and 19 here. I think we're going to see more of the same. Just send everybody and see what can stick. Third and a mile. Handoff goes to Buchanan, and he only gains about 5 or 6 yards before he's brought down. Get him past the 15 to the 18-yard line and bring out the punt team.
That could be a very impactful hole by this Bearcats defense.
We've talked about it so often, how this momentum has really amounted to what it has for Indianapolis and what it could lead to, but you mentioned it. How about this defense from Southwest Baptist able to step up and make the plays they need? Now they'll set up their offense probably with some pretty decent field position here. This punt backed up near their own end zone. Ryan Zoller will see what he can do. Zoller with a nice kick, a very nice kick. Look at that. Going to be picked up at about the 35-yard line by Brandon Smith, and now Smith makes a few plays, spins to the ground. At the 43, pretty good field position, I would say, for the Bearcats. They'll mark him down officially at the 44-yard line. And Caden, what do you want to see from this offense? Because we haven't seen a ton to this point.
I think energy is the most important thing. All they need is one big break, and they can get the momentum back on their side.
Collis is going to come out to lead this offense now. The running back is Abel Carter. Two receivers split out to each side. Man in motion for the Bearcats is Preston Carson looking to throw near side. How about that? Climbing the ladder and coming down with it is the monster and Curtis Colliard. You talked about it. He is a machine at 6'4".
Well, that interception did not dissuade him even one bit. He went right back to his guy, and that relationship is strong. They've played together for a long time, and expect to see more plays just like that. And you can see the coverage wasn't bad at all. He just didn't turn around in time to find the ball, and he threw it in a perfect spot.
Back here quickly as the handoff goes to Abel Carter up the middle, and he'll lose a yard.
This UINDY defense has really held him to less than I thought he would be at today. They're just really physical up front, and Carter's having a hard time dealing with it.
Second down and 11 from that 39-yard line. A lot of pressure, a big hit, and maybe some holding of the jersey there, but no flags fly. It's incomplete.
And that bad snap just kind of took him out of the rhythm on that play. It could have been something big, but the timing just wasn't there.
Looks like a penalty here against the defense, so move them up a little bit. Spot's going to be down at the 34-yard line of Indianapolis. A great opportunity here on second down and short for Southwest Baptist. Looking to throw his Collis, far side. He's got a guy open. How about that route? And the catch in bounds. Jordan Kent with the catch.
That was a great job by the receiver there, keeping his feet in bounds. That is not an easy catch to make by any means.
That'll move it to the 18-yard line as the Bearcats step out of bounds. And how about this? The opportunity to get back within a score. Cooper Collis off of his arm, see if he can get things going against this secondary. Bit of an odd start, but here to the end zone, over the head, and incomplete of Curtis Colliard. Rather, I beg your pardon, that was Marcus Manuel Jr., the 6'2" wide receiver from the outside, and it'll be incomplete regardless.
And Collis is really, really going at the secondary right now.
And that's really the one area of this defense that you can pick on, and more so specifically in the cornerback position, because they sustained a couple injuries, namely Landry Mavungu, who just went down a couple days ago in practice. They've got some reserves playing out on the boundary, and that's where Collis is going to try to target here. But first, just a handoff to Carter, and he slips down after a gain of about one, spun to the ground by a few different Greyhounds. Looked like Aaron Barnett was the man to make the tackle. He has 14 tackles coming into this year, coming into this game, that is, with 1.5 tackles for a loss.
There is the 12th man.
Third down and long. This is a big play for this bend but not break style of defense. Showing blitz. Oh, it does not come. Now pressured is Collis. Collis escapes it. He throws it to the back of the end zone. Caught for a touchdown. How about that? Jordan Kent with the touchdown, and the Bearcats are on the board.
That's a big-time play by Cooper Collis. He's a big body with some mobility, and he showed it there. They got in the backfield. They just couldn't take him down. And that ball was placed perfectly high to where only his receiver could go get it.
And now Logan Turner comes on for the PAT, where he has been perfect to this point in the year, 18 of 18. Probably not the best time to read those stats if he were to miss there, but he remains perfect. Hits his 19th PAT of the season. And adds another tally to the scoreboard here. Suddenly, just a 2-point lead for Indianapolis. We'll see their offense next here on UINDY TV. Nathaniel Finch sitting in here with Caden Colford. Our sideline reporter is Sydney Smith, and we've got a game in front of us. How about this so far, Caden? As the Southwest Baptist team able to drive down the field and punch in that touchdown.
Well, we've talked about how UINDY is ranked 14th. I think that the Bearcats see that as nothing but a target on their back. Every team in college football wants to take down a ranked opponent, and they have the chance to do it right here.
Especially trying to get revenge after the Greyhounds came to Bolivar last season and hung a 77-10 embarrassing victory over Southwest Baptist. They're trying to do the same thing against the Greyhounds in front of their homecoming crowd. Turner, the kickoff specialist, as he launches an end-over-end kick to the far side. It'll be picked up by Gillum. Gillum with a full head of steam. Now he runs into a wall and is brought down. Flags fly, though. Came all the way from the back judge. Flew to the 25-yard line. The ball is down at the 27, but we'll see what the call is.
That I'm not sure of. It looks like this guy's standing at the 27.
It'll be a holding against Indianapolis. So moving back 10 yards from where the spot was. That'll hurt the offense, but they'll still have a opportunity here on first down and 10.
And I don't know about you, Nathaniel, but I don't know if this UINDY team was expecting the fight out of these Bearcats.
Yeah, they've played pretty impressive to start off that first quarter in their last drive. 7 plays for 56 yards, ended with that touchdown reception in the end zone. And we'll see what this offense can do to come out and try to respond. They do have that 2-point lead, but against a team like Southwest Baptist, and the way their offense can play and the way the UINDY secondary has been kind of struggling of late due to injury, it'll be curious to see what happens if this game continues to stay close later in the game. Kevin McNeil is the man in motion. On the first down and 10 from the 13, handoff goes to Clinton. Toriano with the head of steam, and Clinton busts it outside. He's going to lean forward for the first down. A gain of 10.5 on first down to move the chains. Gets him out to the 23.
And his combination of mobility and physical strength just makes him such a unit to take down.
So now from the 23, the offense comes out trying to replicate that. Lenny Bennett comes in at running back. How about Bennett's story? I'll tell you that here in just a moment. But he gets the handoff here, the sweep to the far side. Lenny Bennett with a full head of steam now, and he gets near the first down marker. Looks like he might be just a yard or two shy. He'll step out of bounds at the 32. Making the tackle was Matt Lockard. And how about Lenny Bennett? Last year came in as the 4th, maybe even 5th running back off the depth chart for Indianapolis. Saw some time towards the end of the year, but then he broke his leg in the game against Missouri S&T later in the season. He was able to come in and play last week, had 3 carries for 20 yards, and has just played pretty well after that broken leg. He's able to bounce back, and coming back from injury, playing very well. He's going to stay in the game here. On second down and short from the 32, Bennett gets the handoff, and he makes a nice move to move the chains. How about that? A little sidestep, and that'll move the chains. Get it past the 35 to the 36. David Avalar with the tackle. McNeil will stay in the game as a tight end, but here's Toriano Clinton coming in at running back. First and 10 from the 37. It'll be a quick screen. Alonzo Derrick with his first catch of the day, and it'll go for 9. Past the 45 to the 46-yard line. Making the tackle was Jeremiah Scroggins, but not after a great route from Derrick. What do you see there?
They're really starting into a rhythm now. They're mixing up the runs and the passes, and I don't know what this Bearcat defense is expecting at this point. I mean, they've thrown everything at them, and the UINDY offense just goes deeper and deeper into the playbook.
We've seen receptions from quite a few different Greyhounds today, and we talked about how deep their receiving core can be. It's been pretty impressive to see the targets that are going to these different guys. They have a lot of confidence in most of their players, including Alonzo Derrick, the leading receiver. Here's the handoff counter to the left side, and that gets enough for the first down. Derrick couldn't move the chains, but there we saw Clinton does as he's brought down by Brendan Smith.
And UINDY's playing a brand of smash mouth football right here. They're running it through their face.
First
First down and 10 from the 48.
Ball spotted at their own 48-yard line.
Kellen Porter now in the game for Indianapolis, and he gets the handoff here. And how about this? He busts it for a big one, 15 yards and counting as he stays on his feet before he's finally brought down by Kevin Gillum. Kellen Porter getting his first look at the game, and man, he does plenty with it.
And the Greyhounds are really showing their depth, not only at the wide receiver position, but the running back position here. We know the Bearcats were game planning for Clinton, but I don't know if they're expecting two others that were almost just as good right behind them.
Makes things very hard to guard when Clinton can leave the game and still have two very competent running backs in after him. I wouldn't say just as good, obviously, with Clinton being one of the best running backs ever to put on a Greyhounds uniform, but they've been able to fill that shoe admirably. Is now Jeremiah Lee with a catch in the slot, and he stays on his feet, bounces through two tackles before he's brought down at the 20-yard line. He'll be brought down by Matt Lockard.
And Jeremiah Lee, while he may not be the most physically impressive person, he's only 5'7", 160. It's the guys like that that are almost always the toughest to take down. He's just so shifty, so quick.
And now the Greyhounds in the red zone, right at the 20-yard line. Man in motion is Ethan Hand. Kellen Porter on a first down. He gets the handoff. He has a big block from his quarterback in Connor Kinnett. How about that block? And it amounts to a gain of a few. Give him 2 yards and put him out at the 17-yard line. Joshua Karanda with the tackle.
And a quarterback going to put his body on the line like that, I want on my team 10 times out of 10.
And we have a second down and medium here for Indianapolis as Clinton re-enters the game. And now we're at the point where if you hand the ball off to Toriano Clinton, it could go to the end zone in a blink. He loves getting carries in the red zone. We'll see if he can replicate the success he's had recently. Handoff, Clinton, right side, spinning around, staying on his feet. Give him the all-time touchdown record. He surpasses Al McKellar with his 43rd touchdown rush of his UINDY career. Put him first in the record books. Increase the score to 15-7 for Indianapolis, and how about that man?
You can see his teammates, handshake after handshake, high five after high five, and I don't know if there's anybody on the team that deserves it more.
That is his 6th touchdown of the season. Had 3 in the first quarter against Ohio Dominican last week. And now what's he going to do for the rest of the season, Caden? He's just about ran out of records to break.
Well, they might as well just name the record book after him.
Absolutely should. Here we're going to go ahead and step aside and take a break as we see the kickoff team come out for Indianapolis next on UINDY TV.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
How about that man, number 8, towards the top of your screen, Toriano Clinton, in the middle of the huddle, getting plenty of praise as he has just been outstanding for Indianapolis so far this year, and he continues it today. I'd sit here and read off every one of the records he's broken, but Caden, that might take the rest of the weekend to do. He has been one impressive Greyhound.
He really is a competitor. I mean, he's a good teammate. He's a competitor, and as a football player, you don't get much better.
Had a chance to sit down with him earlier in the week. You will hear all about that interview at halftime, so stick around for that following Sydney Smith's halftime report. But how about this? Is the punt is, or the kick is muffed by Jordan Kent, goes out of bounds, and that's going to make things very tough for this offense starting at the 7-yard line.
And you know the offense is getting flashbacks now. Last time they were pinned against the opposite end zone, things didn't go well.
Of course, the last time that they were pinned back that far, they started a drive at their own 5-yard line, resulted in a safety. Greyhounds got 2 points in the ball out of it that led to a touchdown for them. So got to imagine tried to avoid that. Maybe replicate what happened on their last drive where they're able to go through and score a touchdown. Abel Carter, the running back. Cooper Collis out of the gun, just a couple steps in front of his own goal line. Spread formation, looking to throw. It's going to have to be a quick one. It is caught by Kent as he makes a nice move, spins through a couple tackles and pushes forward for a gain of 6. Set up second down and short at the 12-yard line.
And those short to medium passes have been a nightmare for the UINDY defense all year long. If there is a soft spot that they let up on the field, it's usually those.
So now we see a second down and 3. Ball's at the 14-yard line. Carter's the running back. Hasn't seen a ton of run today, as he will get the handoff here. Pushes forward for maybe a gain of 1. Not much there, but he gets to the 15. That'll set up a third down and short. Kyle Borski makes the tackle for Indianapolis.
Third down and 2.
Carter just 10 carries today, as he will stand in the backfield with Cooper Collis. It's been a lot on his shoulders. 7 completions off 10 attempts for that 82 yards, including a touchdown. Has been sacked 3 times, though. It's a prime spot for the defense to pin their ears back and get a sack here. They're going to try to do just that as Collis steps back, launches it towards the near side, and complete. Intended receiver was Curtis Colliard. Corey's Crawford back in coverage. A lot of C's there.
And Colliard wanted the penalty there, but there was definitely contact from both sides. I think it was a great no call.
And that will bring out the punt team on a 3-and-out. We've seen quite a few 3-and-outs today. Testament to the Greyhounds defense, really from both defenses. A combined 5 3-and-outs. We've seen a lot of punting today for sure.
And I myself came expecting a barn burner, but these defenses have really come to play.
It's making it a pretty exciting game, but now the Greyhounds could have the chance at some decent field position here, as the punt's going to take place near the Southwest Baptist goal line. It's a spiraling one. Bounces around with the Southwest Baptist roll to go to the 40. It continues to roll, be down at the 38-yard line. Preston Carson downs the ball, and that's where the Greyhounds are going to start things off, at the 38. And now prime time for this offense to try to milk some clock out here in this second quarter and maybe put up 7 at the end.
I'd expect more smash mouth football, a lot of runs right up through the middle.
And their run game has just found so much success today. It's been a lot of fun to watch here for Indianapolis. 18 attempts as a team, already 178 rushing yards. That's good for 10 yards a clip. I'd say just continue to run the ball for sure. Ryan Heltzley enters the game at wide receiver for the first time. Today's Indianapolis will stand out of the shotgun. Connor Kinnett, the quarterback. His running back is Toriano Clinton. From the 38-yard line, sweep to the near side. No, it's actually a quarterback keeper to the far side. He's upended those. Kinnett takes the punishment after a gain of a few. Kellen Curtis with the tackle.
And Kinnett definitely has the ability to move on his feet as well. He's definitely not a running back, but with his size and stature, he moves really well.
Second down and 6 from that 42-yard line. Clinton stays in the game at running back. A new set of wide receivers in for the Greyhounds, including Jeremiah Lee and Frank Bentley to the near side. Quick handoff goes to Toriano Clinton, and he'll gain just a few yards, but that'll be enough to set up a third down and short. And when you got a second down and medium like they did, you can't ask for a whole lot more than a 3 or 4 yard gain like they did and get past to the 46. However, there is an injury on the play. With that, we're going to go ahead and step aside and return next here on UINDY TV. Here's we're back at Key Stadium. Both helmets got stuck together, it appeared, and crisis averted. It looked like Toriano Clinton was down for the count, but instead there was just two players trying to get their helmets unstuck. You don't see that very often.
And you could hear the sigh of relief from both sides.
Third down and short. As now the Greyhounds set up with a pretty big third down as the final 5 minutes upon us here in the first half. Handoff goes to Clinton. He looks sure-fine to me as he lowers his shoulder and pushes forward. It's going to count on the spot, but it looks like he'll get past the first down mark to the 49-yard line.
First down, UINDY.
It looks to me, even with all the records he does hold, Clinton is not satisfied. He wants to make a statement on every single play he plays.
And I'd imagine he doesn't even know that he broke that record. He didn't know when he broke the career rushing mark record last week, and I'm sure he won't find out till the end of the game that he now holds the record for touchdowns by a Greyhound. He's just so focused on the game. You love to see it. A fresh set of downs from the Greyhound side of the 50. Kellen Porter's the running back. It'll be a quarterback keeper, though. And how about the legs here from Connor Kinnett as he barrels his way for an 11-yard gain and a first down, brought down by Brendan Smith. But, man, Connor Kinnett's got a set of legs on him. 22 carries this season, 173 yards, including a 55-yard heck of a rush that he had against Tiffin. And he just shows it off there. He's got some legs.
He's definitely a dual-threat quarterback, which we're starting to see more and more in the Lamar Jackson era of the NFL.
But he's not the kind of guy that's just going to run every play. He does a good job picking his spots, and you can even see some design plays like what we started the game with. He's just sneaky athletic, more of a Daniel Jones type. Looking to throw, goes down the field, got a man open. That's caught by Ryan Heltzley as he gets to the 20-yard line, brought down by Kellen Curtis.
And we haven't seen a lot of shots like that down the field by the UINDY offense, but it just shows that they're jacks of all trades.
Kevin Gilm a little shaken up on the play, forced to exit his defensive back position for Indianapolis. He'll be replaced by Samuel Steffe, who had an interception in last week's game against Lake Erie. A win for Southwest Baptist. However, a long task in front of them here today against the number 14th ranked team in the nation. Kinnett with Bennett in the backfield. Flags fly as Bennett gets the handoff, and he'll gain maybe 1 yard to get to the 20-yard line, but we'll see what the call is. He was tackled by Colton Smith, the machine at middle linebacker. It'll be a penalty against the offense. We've seen that a few times today, so negate the couple-yard rush and move him back. And it just makes things so hard to mount the drive here when you've got these silly penalties like this 5-yard false start.
Definitely, definitely, and they're unnecessary penalties as well. I mean, you've been picking up great chunks of yards throughout the entire drive, and penalties like that just turn your rhythm upside down.
First down and 15 now following the 5-yard penalty. Ball's at the 27. Bennett gets the handoff. Bennett with a full head of steam. Bennett off to the races. And he is upended, but not till he gets to the 11-yard line by Kellen Curtis. First down for the Greyhounds. The best way to make those penalties disappear, you just get a better gain on the next play.
That's a perfect example of picking your teammates up right there.
Man, Lenny Bennett, another guy that's just sneaky fast. You think all the speed goes to Toriano Clinton, but Bennett comes in behind him and makes things tough for the defense to keep up with. Kevin McNeil's the tight end in motion. Handoff goes to Bennett, delayed handoff, and he has the sweep to the outside, and he gets a rushing touchdown for Indianapolis. Increase the lead. 22-7 now the score, and Indy gets another rushing touchdown.
And the blocking downfield on that run was really perfect. It's such a luxury to have wide receivers that are willing to put their body on the line for their running backs.
Greyhounds trying to extend the lead to 16 off the leg of Colin Seymour. This season has been perfect from PATs. Going to try to continue that here. KJ Raudebush to hold. Kick goes between the uprights, successful for Indianapolis. And they now increase their lead to 16 points. More next when we return on UINDY TV. An 8-yard drive that spanned 62 yards, lasted 3 minutes and 53 seconds, and ended in a touchdown from Lenny Bennett. You can't just close in on Toriano Clinton, who so far today has 11 carries for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns already. But Lenny Bennett comes in and just torches this defense. How about that?
Definitely, definitely. I think a lot of the credit goes to that front offensive line. They're really pushing these guys back and creating open holes, gaping holes for the running backs to find and exploit.
11-yard touchdown run by number 31, Lenny Bennett for UINDY.
Bennett punched it in from 11 yards out. That'll set up Colin Seymour with this kickoff attempt. Back to return is Jordan Kent for his team as he'll pick this ball up at the 10-yard line, and now will switch field position now with some open space. Kent, hand in the dirt, still on his feet, lowers his shoulder and makes his way out to the 29-yard line. So now things a bit of a struggle for this offense, and Southwest Baptist going to come in. When you're down by 16 the way they are with just 2 minutes left, what are you looking for with just 2 minutes left here in the half?
With 2 minutes left, you definitely have to play the clock here. You definitely have to know where you are on the field when you catch the ball, and you have to know how many timeouts you have at all times.
Are we going to see them just take a bunch of deep shots?
I think they attack the sidelines a lot here.
Here it's a handoff and a sweep to the right side as Abel Carter gets a few, maybe 1 yard on the first down carry. So that'll let the clock roll, and maybe now the sense of urgency lessened a little bit. Maybe just trying to get to the locker room healthy.
Definitely. Maybe they just want to talk it over, regroup. They're definitely facing an uphill battle here, and they just want to get reorganized.
Aaron Barnett and Danny Shelton combined to make that stop of Abel Carter. Collis, the blitz comes, 2 linebackers running, and that allows some open running lanes here for Abel Carter. He'll gain about 5 on the play and get out to the 36-yard line. And when you blitz and you have that pass blitz the way the Greyhounds do, that just opens up a big lane for your running back.
Definitely, definitely. And the coaches are noticing this ongoing pressure, and they're playing it.
3rd down and 3, 36-yard line, just a minute to go here in half number 1. Shotgun formation again. These linebackers looking to blitz. Kiave Guerrier and Benjamin Hanias trying to get into the backfield. Last time it was Abel Carter who just ran right by those two. They're going to blitz again, and Carter is stopped right away. A second effort gets him maybe back to the line of scrimmage. They'll officially give him a gain of 1. Aaron Barnett with the tackle. And however, a timeout called by the Greyhounds defense, and suddenly they realize it's 4th down. There's 37 seconds left. Hey, maybe we can get one last punt return out of this. So with that timeout, we're going to step aside for one final time. Remember, you'll hear from Sydney.
To them, the whole world looks like an opportunity, one to be seized, built upon, and made better. For their sport and the people around it. To student athletes, every opportunity is a chance to change what could be and show the world what opportunity can do.
Back here in Indianapolis, and the Greyhounds get the 3 and out on defense. Yet another one of those. We've talked about how often that has occurred from both teams. Really, defense is just raining stout, but it's the Greyhounds offense able to put up 23 points today.
And looking at our graphic here, you can see how UINDY has dominated the ground the entire game with 227 rushing yards to the visiting Bearcats -4.
Of course, you count sacks as negative yards in NCAA, so those 3 sacks the Greyhounds have gotten have resulted in the negative yards, but not a whole lot of positive yards in that regard either. Abel Carter has 10 carries for just 16 gained yards. There's just not a whole lot of semblance of a running game here for Southwest Baptist. 4th down and 2. Here's the punt from the 37-yard line. Logan Turner comes in to punt. Hasn't done that a lot this year, and it gets the Greyhounds rolled down at about the 37-yard line by Samuel Steff.
UINDY
And with 30 seconds and 2 timeouts, this is not an impossible drive to score on. You can definitely, there is a huge possibility of getting in field goal range.
Stay with us for a big halftime show here tonight for homecoming fans.
We're going to hear from Coach Chris Keevers for Indianapolis here in just a few moments, but first the final 30 seconds must come off the clock. We'll see if the Greyhounds decide to try to go for it all here, maybe just a conservative run. I'd imagine that they both mean the same thing when you got a running back like Toriano who could take just a little simple run all the way to the house. They're going to look to throw. Streaks, everyone going downfield. It is incomplete, a little underthrown, but a flag on the play regardless. Looks like it's going to be a false start against Indianapolis as we wait. Rather, an illegal formation. Moving back. (23-7) is the score here. The Greyhounds trying to increase that lead there, though. We'll see if they try to do the same thing we just saw, just sending all 4.
Well, you definitely can't be rash with their decision-making here.
Looking to throw, rolling out with some open space, and Kennett's taken to the ground. He'll gain maybe a yard, we'll call it a rush, but not a whole lot there, and that will allow the clock to run the rest of the way down.
On the tackle is number 36,
Jeremiah Spraggins gets the tackle as the clock rolls down to 0. And now we wait here for just a few moments before we'll throw it down to the sideline with the interview with Coach Keevers. But, Caden, it was the first half that started off neck and neck, especially into that second quarter. But the Greyhounds able to just find a way to get things done.
Yeah, the defense has started off really hot.
Let's throw it down to Sydney now on the sideline.
Hi, Sydney. Nice to meet you. Welcome back to UINDY TV on the sidelines. I'm here with Coach Chris Keevers. Toriano Clinton is on fire, breaking 2 records in the past week. His running touchdown record and the 43rd touchdown in his career. How do you think this has impacted the game?
Well, he's helping us win because he's running the ball, and he's running the ball well. We need to execute better on offense. We're not executing very well. We got a lot of penalties. It's real sloppy, but the one positive is Tori.
Absolutely. How are we going to keep this energy up in the second half?
Well, I hope we come out and play better than we did today. This first half, it has been very good.
All right. Well, you heard it here. Thank you guys so much. Be sure to stay tuned to UINDY TV.
Hello everybody, welcome into Last Call. A bit different setup for the show today. I'm joined with Toriano Clinton, fresh off breaking the rushing all-time record at UINDY. Pretty impressive performance you had. Took 3 touchdowns to get the win against Ohio Dominican. Walk me through, as you broke that all-time rushing mark, now you're number 1 on the list, probably the best running back ever to come through the program. Walk me through the emotions pregame and then as you're kind of working up to that yard number 42.
Honestly, I forgot all about the record. Just being honest, I kind of not try to focus so heavy on those because I just don't want it to distract me from what's overall important. While yes, this accomplishment is big to me, it means a lot to me. But overall, you know, the aspect of the team is more important to me. So just being able to get the team victory, that was one. You know, having this on top of that was just another plus. I did remember that I did have about 40-something yards to get there. It didn't really hit me until after the game, but just to see my parents, how happy my mom and dad and stepdad were, like, it made me feel good.
So you broke the record on that 3rd touchdown from 12 yards, kind of a storybook way to get it, the touchdown to give you that. Did you keep the ball from that score? Did you have, you said you didn't really know, so you didn't really get to celebrate that till after the game, right?
Yeah, so Keevers, after when we got in our huddle and we broke down, he actually made a big announcement that also I didn't know he was gonna do. But he gave me the game ball, so they're gonna get it all touched up and I'm gonna give it to my parents. So.
That's pretty spectacular. How was the celebration like after the game on the bus ride when you got back to Indy? How was it celebrating?
My phone has been nonstop. My phone has been nonstop since the game.
By me as well. I apologize for blowing that up.
No, it's not a problem. I just appreciate it. Like I said in an earlier interview, like this is not just all on me. You know, this is UINDY. This is my coaches, my teammates, my linemen and receivers because they block like no other. I couldn't ask for a better group to work with. just everybody who's kind of been along the ride with me. Like, this is not just me, you know. It's been a lot of ups and downs. I've had people who were on the team and not on the team pick me up in hard times and, you know, just tell me, like, you know, just stay focused, you got this. So it's not just me, this is UINDY. I'm just the one that's taking over the face sport, I guess, you know. Sure. But it goes deeper than just me. It goes deeper than football. It's like literally it's everybody who has helped me along my journey.
I love that. It was after, I believe, your third touchdown. We caught you on the sideline going up to the linemen and telling them thank you for blocking the way they did. So it definitely makes sense.
That was my boy. I got something, they don't know, but like I got something special lined up after the season for those guys. So
that's pretty exciting. So you're not the traditional record-breaking running back where you come in from day one and you're putting up yards all 4 years. It kind of took you a little bit further. You had Al McKellar, who broke some records of his own, currently number 1 on the all-time rushing touchdown list. How much did he help you?
When I first came in as a freshman, I knew about Al. I have this cycle that I've kind of been going through all my life where there's always somebody, you know, ahead at the moment, which is not putting me down. You know, I find myself loving it more now because it gives myself a challenge. When I came in, Al was like a brother to me. Him, T. Lee, Gavin, all those guys, they took me in, showed me the way, showed me the ropes, and I'm grateful for them. I still talk to Al to this day. He was actually just up here. I love Al, everything about him, the way he plays ball. He actually taught me that, yeah, I'm a speed back, but I can also get, you know, I can get in the trenches if I need to, you know. Having him as someone to look up to really was able to push me because I'm a competitor first, you know. We brothers, but I'm gonna compete, you know. I'm not gonna make it easy on you. He definitely didn't make it easy on me, but that's iron sharpening iron, you know what I mean? So I love Al, love his family. We're always close, and we're just gonna keep it pushing.
So I know you said that you don't keep track of this as much, but as far as at UINDY all-time rushing touchdowns, you're 1 away from Al's record. You're tied first for total touchdowns. Got a homecoming game this coming weekend. You're going to have all the home crowd there. It's going to be big festivities. What would it mean to break that record for the community here, everyone to see that at home?
I think for me, I've always considered myself kind of like a shadow player. And it's not to get like emotional, but it just feels good to see all the work that I put in day out actually being surfaced, you know. All my life, like I said, it's always been somebody I've had to beat out or compete with, or it's just somebody who's just as good but older, you know. Like, that's been my life since I was a kid, and it's made me not afraid to compete. It's made me not afraid of competition, and it gives me something to look forward to. But I feel like that's how life should be. It's always going to be somebody better or maybe the same level but older. Someone's always going to have that advantage on you. But what are you going to do when it's your time, you know what I mean? I can't look back and say, well, he did this, so I have to know. I'm still me, and that's why I've always kept my number throughout all the years that I've been here, because I don't want to be nobody else. I want to be me. I've made a lot of good things happen with this number. This number is nothing but a blessing to me, so I'm going to rep it until I'm done with it. You know?
You can imagine there's not going to be a lot many more hounds wearing that number once you graduate. Thanks again for joining us. More next.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
To them, the whole world looks like an opportunity, one to be seized, built upon, and made better for their sport and the people around it. To student athletes, every opportunity is a chance to change what could be and show the world what opportunity can do.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby. Inside the 30, touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
I pledge.
I am an NCAA student athlete.
And I pledge to be a champion of unity
on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination.
I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity.
I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt.
I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy.
I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all.
I pledge these things because we are stronger together.
United as one.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student-athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student-athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student-athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours. In NCAA Division II, student-athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student-athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student-athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Well, it's so many memories, I would say. I think the things that when my teammates and I get together, what we enjoy the most, I think, are just all the stories, all the things that happen between us playing against some of the best schools. You know, we played some Division I schools. We beat Eastern Illinois twice. A thrill for a Division II school to go in and to beat a Division I school. And I think we remember, you know, feeling like kind of the David versus Goliath. And that's what I think we realized, if you can come together as a group, you know, that you can have success. Well, I think any competitive person, it's tough. But I still look at it today. You know, it's been 30 years since I played competitive basketball, and in the business world and the education world, you lose, and things happen, and you go back to your playing days, and you got knocked down, and you got to get back up. So that was kind of our mantra. I think to have dreams. I just, as a little kid, I had dreams that I wanted to do something athletically, you know, and basketball was my passion. And so I don't care what it is, do something that you like, that you're passionate about. That to me is the most important thing, and then work to achieve it. And if you work hard enough at it, I think your dreams can come true, even when people tell you it'll never happen. And that to me was kind of the David versus Goliath thing. Yeah, and it's a cliche, but I do think life is a game. Life is a competition. And I think I was prepared because I competed in college, and I say the same thing to people. You kind of those same attributes. You have to work hard, you have to practice what you want to do, and you have to believe in yourself, and you have to have those dreams, and you put that package together, and I think it's a pretty good package for success. Hi, I'm Larry Tucker. I'm a former NCAA student athlete from Lewis University.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor. It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
From court to court and lane to lane, under the lights or under the sun, no one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub, with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II college sports.
I am an NCAA student athlete, and I pledge to be a champion of unity on my team, on my campus, and in my community.
I pledge to stand against all forces of division and separation. I pledge to embrace differences and strive for inclusion and collaboration.
I pledge to stand against racism, hate, and discrimination. I pledge to strive for love, care, and forgiveness.
I pledge to stand against silence, deceit, and obscurity. I pledge to strive for dialogue, truth, and understanding.
I pledge to stand against fear and doubt. I pledge to strive for trust and belief in one another.
I pledge to stand against complacency and stagnancy. I pledge to strive for change and growth.
I commit to supporting my fellow student athletes in all circumstances that impact them.
I commit to both choosing unity personally and encouraging it for all. I pledge these things because we are stronger together. United.
Well, welcome back to Key Stadium. Nathaniel Finch sitting here alongside Caden Colford up in the press box with a great game, a great first half in front of us where the Greyhounds were able to put up 23 first half points, most of those coming in quarter number 2, and most of them off the legs of Toriano Clinton. How about that? He had 2 rushing touchdowns in that first half and was just an outstanding player. You see some of the stats here. The team was able to only manage 58 passing yards. That's because they were able to run the heck out of that football, 227 rushing yards and 14 first downs. They did have the first interception thrown by the season by a Greyhound quarterback, but outside of that, it was basically all success, especially on the ground. As far as Southwest Baptist, though, they put up only 7 points because they could only get 89 passing yards. That's the strength of their offense, is throwing the ball. We're able to do that too efficiently today, and the -4 rushing yards. This Greyhounds defense has just been so impressive.
And it really started off as a defensive clinic by both teams, don't you think? I mean, I don't know if the Greyhounds thought that the Bearcats were going to come out as strong as they did. And you could kind of tell that by Coach Keever's halftime interview. He didn't seem too happy with what his team was doing.
Excited to see how this second half goes underway. And like you mentioned, Keever's, he's going to go into that locker room passionate no matter what the score is. And he showed it there. But for Indianapolis, it was just able to do whatever they wanted. And it started with that safety from Cooper Collis, who lost 5 yards, ended up getting sacked in his own end zone by Dylan Shelton. That was late in the first quarter, so it took a while to get our first scoring of the game, but then things opened up as Toriano Clinton had his first rushing touchdown of the day of 2. That was with 3:25 to go in the first. 9-0 the score at that point. And then we thought we'd have a ball game, right? Cooper Collis had that touchdown pass to Jordan Kent, and things looked like it was going to be a close game, but then all of a sudden the Greyhounds put up 2 more touchdowns, one to Toriano Clinton on the ground for 17 yards, one to the backup running back Lenny Bennett for 11 yards, and Indianapolis just been able to dominate this game.
And like I've said a couple times, the Bearcats are really facing an uphill battle here. UINDY being ranked 14, they're used to being up. They're used to protecting leads, so don't expect any loss of intensity here.
About a minute to go before we get things back underway. And as far as Indianapolis, you talked about Keevers trying to find some things to improve on. What do you think is going to be the biggest improvement that the Greyhounds are going to try to make for this second half?
They just got to cut out the sloppy penalties. You know, usually this offensive line is very, very solid and stable. Tonight they've had a couple false starts, a couple illegal formations, even a couple holdings, and it's cost their team, I mean, a pretty decent chunk of yardage. And that yardage could even put them up a couple more scores.
Now let's switch gears and talk about what Southwest Baptist needs to do. And you can take more than just 1 point. What do you think that they need to do to improve and try to get back into this game?
Southwest Baptist, they've really been falling short on what should be a strong suit of their game in the passing game. I mean, they've really targeted one receiver, that receiver being wide receiver Curtis Quillard, but the UINDY secondary has really kept him quiet throughout the game.
What do you think the defense can do to try to lock down on the Greyhounds' run game? They haven't been able to do that whatsoever today.
Well, the Greyhounds have definitely shoved the ball up the middle. There definitely needs to be pressure in those A-gaps.
Back to kick for Indianapolis. We're going to see Colin Seymour trying to get this second half underway. Of course, the Greyhounds received the opening kickoff, so they'll do Southwest Baptist the favor of kicking it away to them here for the second. It'll go over the head of the returner there for Southwest Baptist and Rick Weaver. So touchback to start off the second half, and we're going to see this offense start at the 25-yard line. We'll see what Southwest Baptist offense can do here. They had a whole half to think about it, 25-minute halftime to figure out what kind of adjustments they can make to move the ball. And really, it's going to have to come in the secondary, right? You're missing a couple players in that secondary for Indianapolis, so just try to continue to target that area of the field, keep pushing the ball downfield, keep going to the boundaries. That's when they've had their limited successes, airing the ball out. We'll see if they can do that here, starting at the 25-yard line. Carter gets the handoff to start things. Carter able to squirt forward, and look at that. He stays on his feet and rolls forward for a nice gain of about 3 yards on first down. Get him out to the 30, make it the 29-yard line.
And Carter had a somewhat quiet first half, being held up at the line of scrimmage on most of his runs, and I bet he's pretty happy to see how that run turned out.
We now have a 2nd down and 6 from the 29-yard line. Carter stays in the game at running back. He's taken most of the snaps at halfback so far this game. Cooper Collis will stand out of the shotgun formation. Looking to throw. This is a chance. He goes deep. He's got a guy open, but underthrown. Looking for flags was the intended receiver, and Cannon Mullins. Or I beg your pardon, Kylan Herrera, but there are no flags are called. It's incomplete. And what do you think you saw there with that matchup?
I mean, despite the lack of success, they keep going to the deep ball. And honestly, I think that's a good idea. I think it's a good scheme. I think that's the strength of their offense.
Did you think there was a penalty on that play?
Honestly, we see a lot of ticky-tacky calls on pass interference plays, both on offense and defense. I think there was a reasonable amount of contact from both parties there.
No call seems to be the right one. Here is a 3rd down and medium from the 29. With pressure, a quick flick to the outside, and it went over the head of the intended target, and Preston Carson. Nice job by Cavante Houston in coverage. And that'll be another 3 and out today. Seen that quite a bit today, and it'll continue.
And if you're the Bearcats, that is not the opening drive that you wanted. This makes this battle uphill even more challenging.
That is the 6th 3 and out by this Greyhounds defense. They have been so good today, and Southwest Baptist isn't able to find anything. So here comes the punt. It's a nice high wobbly punt here from Logan Turner. Lonzo Derrick with the fair catch. That'll put the ball down at the 41-yard line. That's where Connor Kinnett and the Greyhound squad will come out on the field to try to get something done here on offense, trying to increase this lead. Ahead by 2 scores, trying to keep adding on to that total. Again, they scored 77 points against this defense on the road last year. So you can imagine why Coach Keevers was a little upset.
He definitely holds his team to a higher standard than most.
A fresh set of downs from the 41-yard line. Handoff goes the sweep to the outside with Toriano Clinton, and he's wrestled down by Colton Smith. Brought down by his neck as he's about a yard shy of the first down yard marker, but right at the 49-yard line on the Greyhound side.
And it's crazy to me how these design runs that any average running back would gain 3, 4, 5, 6 yards on are turned into 10, 11, 12-yard gains.
Clinton just such an electric player. Well above average, and he has been his entire career here as a fifth-year senior at Indianapolis. Ethan Hans, a tight end in motion. Big blocking component here for this offense. Faking the handoff, plenty of time. Kennett looking to throw down the field, has a guy open and complete. Just a little underthrown. That's been a common theme for today is Matt Lockard makes the play. Jaquan Buchanan, the running back. I beg your pardon, that was Alonzo Derrick who was open down the field, but just a little underthrown. It's got to be kind of frustrating as a receiver.
Definitely. I don't know if he's seen the amount of touches that he would like to see, but his team is successful nonetheless.
Third down and very short. From the 49-yard line. It should be a walk in the park here at this distance over there. Hand it off to Toriano Clinton. They'll do just that, and Clinton will push it forward, and it looks like they might mark him just short. I don't know about this one. It looked like he was past the line to gain, which would be the 49 on the other side, but they're saying he's just inches shy. You got to go for it here.
I think so, too. With the comfortable lead you have and the talent that you have in that backfield, I think it's an easy call.
Well, maybe you don't have to go for it like I had said, but it's a great situation to try to go for it on fourth down. And at least at the very least, I believe that they should measure this one with the chains, but I don't think they're going to. They're just going to set the ball down. And the Greyhounds are going to go for it. Clinton stays in the game at running back. You got to imagine just a simple handoff up the middle to him, right? That's what the defense is going to be expecting. They're stacking the box. Blitz coming here from the linebackers. Just a yard to gain. They do it on the sweep, and Clinton pushes forward. Did he get it? He didn't. They say he didn't get it. They say he did not get that one.
Everyone in this stadium knew who the ball was going to, including that Bearcat defense, and, hey, they held their ground.
I think they might measure this one because it is close. And, yeah, they're going to call an official's timeout here and measure this one. I don't know about that spot, though. It seemed kind of a little short than what you would expect, but they're going to measure this one and see.
I agree. From our view, I thought he was over.
It doesn't look too good as they continue to stretch the chains out. No, it's going to be Southwest Baptist ball. Turnover on downs at midfield. Sudden change as the offense for the Bearcats is going to come out onto the field.
And that was a very, very, very important stop by the Bearcat defense, and that's really a morale lifter. To stop a running back of that talent, there's not many teams that could do that.
We've got a first down and 10 now from the 50-yard line. That's where Cooper Collis and this team will set up shop on offense.
They have great field position here, too.
Some extra blockers in at tight end. Out of the pistol formation with Abel Carter, the running back. He's now going to stand in a shotgun set. Looking to throw his Collis, launches it downfield, incomplete. And again, looking for flags. That's what these receivers have been doing this entire game. Whenever it hasn't gone their way, they get kind of upset, including Kylan Herrera there as he comes up throwing his hand up. Nice coverage on the play by Brandon Thomas.
Looked like Callis was looking for a comeback route there, but the wide receiver just wasn't on the same page.
Same situation this time with a second down. Indy's defense creeping up to show blitz. Benjamin Hunias and Kiave Guerrier love getting after the quarterback, and they're going to try to do that here. Here's the handoff. It goes right around the middle. Dancing around is the running back in Abel Carter. And look at that as he gets past the chains. A nice gain on second down to pick up the first. Get him out to the 40. First down and 10 now from that 40-yard line, and just an impressive rush there from Abel Carter. The Greyhounds have done a good job kind of stopping him so far today, but there he gets a good run. Carter today with 13 attempts for 18 yards. So, again, not a whole lot there, but he gets a 10-yard rush, his longest of the day, and he breaks another one off here. Another one for 10 yards. Make it 12 as he lunges forward on the second effort. Get him past the 30 to the 29.
I think Abel Carter, like the rest of us, has heard all the chatter about Toriano Clinton, and I think he has something to prove here. He wants his name in the same conversation. Is it? That's not my place to say, but I think he thinks it should be up there.
Jacob Jones gets the tackle for Indianapolis, and regardless, that was after the first down gain from Carter, who's running pretty well these last couple touches. I'd say keep feeding him. You got no reason not to. He's found success. Collis is out of the shotgun formation. Inside the 30 at the 29, faking the handoff. Pressure comes, throws it down the field. This one's got to be a flag, right? Sure enough, pass interference from multiple sides as Michael Brown just struggles to make that one. The intended receiver was Mason Bolin, the tight end.
Yeah, that was an obvious call. As a defensive back in that position, you have to play the ball.
As we'll wait to sort this one out, the referees conversing. But you got to imagine this is a pretty obvious call. And that's something that, again, these receivers have been looking for all game. Maybe there's been some instances where you could have thrown the flag, but there was pretty obvious. The laundry comes out for Michael Brown. First and 10 from the 15. Now in the red zone here are the Bearcats. A great opportunity in front of them after holding the defense. They get a handoff. That goes nowhere. Is Abel Carter brought down by Borski. And maybe the best part about this drive is the fact that the defense is able to get a breather on the sideline. They've been put to work quite a bit today, and I'm sure they're happy with a chance to take a bit of a break here and enjoy the offense's success. After a loss of one, it's 2nd and 11 from the 16-yard line. Just a second to get the ball off, and they do just barely. Quick screen to Carter. Carter with some open space, and he's brought down by Clay Schulte, brought down at the 3.
Great decision by Kylis there. He saw his man in the flat route and hit him perfect.
Enough to gain the first down, and that gives him a new set of downs inside the 5. Put him down at the 3-yard line. You got to imagine probably going to see just a couple of rushes up the middle, right? Try to gain those 3 yards the conventional way. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Carter, the running back, looking for his first score of the day. As it'll be a quarterback rollout to the far side, taking it himself and sliding into the end zone for a touchdown. Cooper Collis does it himself for a Southwest Baptist touchdown.
And that was a great play call there. You saw the UINDY defense suspecting a run up the middle, but the Bearcats had different ideas.
He can get it done with his arm. He's done that by being 8th in the nation in passing touchdowns this season, but there he also shows he's got some athleticism. He can run the ball into the end zone, and now suddenly just a 9-point game. Between the uprights it goes. You can see there with that end zone camera, and we're going to step aside, but suddenly we have a ball game in front of us. The Greyhounds trying to respond next on UINDY TV.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
Welcome back here on UINDY TV. Nathaniel Finch sitting here with Caden Colford. Big thank you to our spotter today with Jace Hodge. And, of course, down on the sideline is Sydney Smith. Big thank you to our whole crew back in the control room. So we've got a great broadcast here in front of us, and a great game all of a sudden as Southwest Baptist comes out looking a lot better on offense after a stale first half.
They're definitely not going away without a fight. You can tell there's some real intensity on that sideline.
What were some things they did on offense that just led to so much success on that drive?
Well, they embraced the physicality. They embraced the intensity. They said, bring it here, bring the pressure, we'll run it right through the gut.
Yeah, and they did a good job at that even with the blitz here. We see Jeremiah Lee running it back for Indianapolis, their best kick returner and one of the better kick returners in the conference. He'll get the ball out to about the 28-yard line. And how about Jeremiah Lee? Hasn't had quite the day today, but look at his stat line from last season. Started with the first 4 touchdowns of the game. You heard that. He scored the first 4 touchdowns of the game. Took the opening kickoff back for a score and then caught 3 more after that. He had himself a great day against Southwest Baptist in Bolivar, Missouri. It was a very impressive day, a 95-yard kickoff return, a 44, 30, and 20-yard touchdown reception. He ended up being the GLVC Player of the Week that week last season and just had himself a great day against his defense. Today, though, they've seemed to have adjusted. And, of course, he's not being leaned on as much as he did last year. This receiver core is so deep. From the 29-yard line, having to get the ball off just in time they do, and Clinton takes a sweep to the far side and keeps his legs churning. How about that? He just does not give up. Gain of 8. Get him out to the 20, make it the 37-yard line.
And after a Bearcat score, you can expect UINDY to go back in their bread and butter. Those runs right through the middle, right to the outside with Toriano Clinton, the superstar.
Lenny Bennett's going to come on in relief of Clinton, who can now go to the sideline and take a breather. I'm sure he's happy to do so. 2nd and short. Out of the gun, it's a handoff to Bennett. He's going to push forward and lower his shoulder, and does a great job getting past the 40 out to the 35. Bennett does what Clinton did the play before and gets his legs moving to move the chains. Toriano back on the field, though.
And this group of running backs plays so physical. And as a coach, you just can't teach that. You can't teach that intensity.
A new set of downs at the 43-yard line. Doing a good job moving the chains here and keeping this drive alive. Here's Kennett out of the shotgun. He takes a few steps back. Now he's going to step up, tries to avoid the sack, and he can't. Brought down on the play by a combo of Nate Shelton and Joshua Karanda. And the pressure just gets home. Not a whole lot you can do there. Hasn't been sacked a whole lot today, but goodness, what a job by this front 7. Just the first time we've seen Kennett sacked.
And we don't see that offensive line get overwhelmed very often, but it happened right there.
Returning 3 of their 5 starters from a year ago. One of the better units in the nation, you could say, is dancing around in that backfield is the tight end, Kevin McNeilis. Handoff goes to Clinton, who gets his full head of steam going. Taken down by his knees and rolls over, but not before he gets a nice gain of about 10 yards. He's a yard shy of the first down marker, but into enemy territory. Give him a nice gain out to the 48. Tackled down by Matt Lockard.
3rd down and 1 coming up for the Hounds.
Third down and just a few feet. Changing the call at the line of scrimmage after looking towards Coach Keevers on the sideline. Ethan Hand, the blocking tight end, in motion. Toriano, no, it'll be a handoff up the middle to Clinton, and he pushes forward. Does he get it that time, or is he stuffed again? He's going to be stuffed again, it looks like. Or are they going to say he gets it? This is going to be close. We've seen this twice on the last drive. Same spot on the field, but it's going to be a close call, and are they going to end up moving the chains?
You really have to give some props to that Bearcat front 4. They're really holding their ground, and looks like they're going to move the chains here.
Give him the first down after last drive wasn't able to do it on 2 attempts. This time on 3rd down and short, gets it past the line to gain. Now the ball is down at the 47-yard line of the Bearcats. Clinton stays into the game. Hand is the man in motion, the tight end. Handoff goes to Toriano Clinton, who gets that stiff arm out and sidesteps, but brought down by Brennan Smith. They'll gain maybe a yard and get to the 46.
Smith on the defensive stop for the Bearcats. 2nd and 9 coming up.
Two tight ends now currently in the huddle for Indianapolis. And McNeilis and Hand both seeing time on the field. Lenny Bennett's a running back. Adventure, we might see a run play here, right, with those two extra blockers in. Pistol formation, also a bit of a run formation here for the Greyhounds, and that's going to be just what they do. Hand it off to Bennett, who slides his way forward. Brought down by Colton Smith, but not after he gains about 2 yards. Past the 45 to the 44-yard line. And now a pretty important 3rd down and medium here. What do you think the Greyhounds are going to do?
The Greyhounds, I think Bearcats are expecting run here, since that's their bread and butter, right? That's what they go to. But I think a pass to the outside here might be the best option.
Few receivers come in for Indianapolis. Alonzo Derrick and Jeremiah Lee stacked to the far side. Haven't seen this formation very often for Indianapolis, and they're going to do just that. They're going to pass, throw it down the field. Caught for a first down by Jeremiah Lee. Flags fly on the tackle, right on the spot of where the tackle happened, as Samuel Steffe tried to bring down Jeremiah Lee. I'd say the flag might even be against Steffe on defense. Looked like a face mask.
And that was just a perfect route by the receiver there. Made so much space, made the throw as easy as he could.
Jaquan Buchanan comes in at running back, and of course they are going to call that a face mask, so add even extra yards at the end of that run. How about that? Jeremiah Lee just gets open and uses that speed. One of the fastest players on the field for Indianapolis, and does a great job, nice route, and cooks up the defense a little bit. Just a preview of what he was able to do last season against Southwest Baptist, but he still makes use of his opportunities.
And as we get in the red zone here, I just like to point out how many options the Greyhounds have in the red zone. Kennett doesn't like to go just one guy in the red zone. You know they always have a reliable running back to go to.
1st and 10 from the 18-yard line into the red zone. Handoff, no, quarterback keeper rolling it out. Looks to throw, caught by the tight end McNeilis. That's his first reception of the season. Gets it to the 9-yard line before Matt Lockard brings him down. And how about Matt Lockard today? We've heard his name quite a bit. He's got 5 tackles today, including 2 for a loss. But there was McNeilis who was able to make the nice catch.
And now UINDY's really starting to progress with their passing game, finding the soft spots of this Bearcat defense.
Toriano Clinton out of the shotgun formation with Connor Kennett. It'll be a fake handoff, looking to the end zone. Scrambling out, he could take it himself. He could get to the end zone, and he dives in, rolling over. Is Connor Kennett for a touchdown. A 9-yard touchdown rush. The first time that Kennett's found pay dirt with his legs this season, and he extends the lead.
And he was looking for an out route there, but it wasn't there, so he said, hey, I'll do it myself, and took it in for the touchdown.
Colin Seymour attempts to put the 30th point up for Indianapolis today as we start to head towards the waning moments of the 3rd quarter. Seymour puts his perfect PAT record up there on the line and continues that streak. 30-14 the score. We'll tell you all about that drive next here on UINDY TV.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
What a night here for football as you see the moon from our end zone camera, and it's just been such perfect weather really all weekend, but especially for today, and it's been able to continue that as we see just the final shades of the sunset off to the west. A perfect 68 degrees here on this evening.
9-yard touchdown run.
Colin Seymour ready to get this one back underway. Here's his kickoff as it's a high-end over-end kick towards the far side. Picked up by Roderick Weaver, and he's going to switch field position before he is brought down on his back, but a flag flies. Indianapolis with Cole Veal to make the tackle.
Tackle present number 33, that's Cole Beal for the Hounds.
We'll wait and see what the call is here, but regardless, well, it's going to be a holding against the return team, as typical kickoff return penalties are, but we'll see what this offense can do. They did a good job last time out, driving all the way down the field and making that play to score the touchdown on the ground, but we'll see if they can kind of replicate that. Their last drive, 7 plays, 50 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, that Greyhound touchdown was definitely a shot in the heart for these Bearcats, but we'll see how they respond.
They're going to move the ball back half the distance to the goal, and it's a territory that we've seen quite a bit here from the Southwest Baptist offense. Just too often that they've been pinned against their own end zone. They've had a drive start the 5-yard line, the 7-yard line. This one is starting at the 9-yard line. You can guess the last few did not turn out very successful. Looking to throw this time down the middle of the field, and it's caught for a big gain. Down at the 40, Marcus Manuel Jr. makes the play.
Well, that was one way to get him out of trouble, and he put it right in the bread basket there. The receiver just beat his man, and he put it right where he needed it.
Trying to get back to the line before the chains can even get set and get this next play underway. From the spread formation, a pistol look. Faking the handoff and a quick pass out to the far side, but it's incomplete. Intended receiver was Jordan Kent, but that is an incomplete pass and one that really he should have caught.
And that drop just kind of takes the wind out of your sails. After a big play like that, to come back with an easy drop just doesn't sit right.
The ball is down at the 41-yard line. Man, again, can't emphasize how big that last play was. The big reception there from Marcus Manuel. Looking to throw his Collis again. He steps up and wings this one out to his tight end for a first down and more. And off to the races. He goes to the 45 of Indianapolis. Bryant Burns making the catch. His first of the day.
And the Greyhound sent the pressure there, but Callis stood strong and he found the open man.
Past the 45, now to the 44-yard line as the chains move. The umpire walks up and sticks his hand out to halt the offense until things were set, but now they are. Marching the ball down the field. They try to do that here, but instead sliding down. How about the defense making the stop? A loss of 2 as Carter can't find anything.
I think he ran into his own offensive lineman there. The defensive end just shoved him right into him. I guess that's one way to record a tackle.
Multiple Greyhounds get into the backfield to make that tackle. Now platoon swap on defenses. 4 new Hounds come into the game. Bit of a nickel look here for Indianapolis as they have 5 DBs. Everyone else, all their linebackers trying to rush, at least showing a blitz. They will back off, though, looking to throw near side and complete. Corey's Crawford in on coverage to bat the ball away from Curtis Colliard. And that'll set up 3rd down and long.
And once again, there was a lot of contact on that route, and I'm surprised the flag was kept in the pocket. And I'm kind of getting the feel that these wide receivers really want the flags thrown, and of course every wide receiver does, but you can't rely on that. You can't rely on the referee to play the game for you.
A 3rd down and very long here for this offense. They've got a tall task in front of them. Not quite in field goal range, although they have one of the best kickers in the nation. Collis out of the shotgun, trying to get some room for his field goal kicker, potentially, if not more, and he gets more as Kent catches it on the run to move the chains. Past the 25 into the 24-yard line, and Jordan Kent with an impressive play. Or rather, that was Roderick Weaver to make the catch. Haven't seen a lot of him today.
And Callis hasn't had a lot of time all day, but his pocket presence is really good, really good. He has, down the field, his vision is almost great, or almost immaculate.
Trying to bring this back within a score is Collis from the 24-yard line. Trips formation on the near side. He'll go to the opposite side, though, into the end zone, incomplete. Brandon Thomas in on coverage. The intended receiver, Marcus Manuel Jr. Incomplete regardless. He'll set up 2nd and 10.
And they've got to that fade route 4 or 5 times today, but it hadn't just panned out for him.
From the 24, it is 2nd down and 10. Two receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side. It's a spread formation. Collis looks to throw, launches it. Got a guy open just over his head, but he makes the catch and taps his toes. Jordan Kent steps out of bounds, but after he moves the chains. Yet another 1st down for this offense, and they are moving the ball well. Look at the replay here. Look at these toes. If he wore size, maybe 2 sizes higher than he does now, that's probably going to be out of bounds.
And you know he works on that every single day at practice, the staple of a great wide receiver.
Looking to throw, trying to go for it all. Instead, the sack comes in. Dylan Shelton brings him down for a loss of 7. Down at the 17-yard line.
And he had his man beat from the get-go. That was just a combination of pure strength and speed. He had no chance on that play.
Collis with a tall task in front of him now. Is 2nd down and 17. I told you a little bit about the kicker for Southwest Baptist. His name is Logan Turner. He's twice hit a field goal of 51 yards. Of course, the school record is 52, so he has been very impressive. Of course, the offense trying to keep him off the field as they pass out to the far side. It is caught inside the 10. Going around to about the 8-yard line is Roderick Weaver with another reception. He's been impactful this drive. Making the tackle was Michael Brown. Looked like Benjamin Hanias also helped with that tackle. Ball's down at the 7, so it'll be a 3rd down and goal. Just 30 seconds to go here in quarter number 3. Trips formation to the near side. That's at the bottom of your screen towards the left. This, of course, meaning that you have those 3 receivers stacked up together in a bunch. As Abel Carter shifts over to the left side of Collis. Looks to throw, far side, has a guy open and complete. How about that route? The release was very impressive from the intended target, Kylan Herrera, but it was just maybe better coverage from Brandon Thomas.
Yeah, I don't even know if Brandon Thomas saw the ball that time, but he got his hand right where it needed to be, and it turned out to be a great defensive play.
So now we've got a 4th and goal, and this is where the field goal team's going to come out. They have 15 seconds to work with here left on the play clock, so it's going to be a tall task to get everything set up and ready in time. But let's see the leg of Logan Turner. So far this year, 4 for 4 from field goals. He's been perfect to that point, and here he's able to continue that streak. Does a good job to make that field goal, and we'll talk about that drive next here on UINDY TV.
Number 32, Kyle Hornsby.
Inside the 30, touchdown. Michaela Burgess. An incredible finish by Hall.
The NCAA and its member schools offer nearly 500,000 college athletes a path to go pro in something other than sports. Learn more at ncaa.org.
Here in Indianapolis, as the Greyhounds allow a field goal drive, Southwest Baptist able to march down the field and put together a successful kick. A 26-yard kick by Colin Seymour. Or, excuse me, Logan Turner, that is. A 12-play drive that went 84 yards. A long drive here for this team. And now it's just 6 seconds to go in the 3rd. It's crunch time, and it'll be pretty important to see how each team plays going into the 4th. It's anybody's game at this point. Greyhounds up by 2 scores. Here is the kick. An end-over-end kick picked up by Lee, bobbled, but now he gets it and has a chance to run with it. Look at this as he gets past a few of tacklers and gets to the 29-yard line. That's where he's going to stop, and that's where the clock's going to roll down to 0. And now we're going to head down to the sideline with our sideline reporter and Sydney Smith. Sydney, take it away.
The Greyhounds let the Bearcats sneak in a touchdown in the start of this half, but this did not stop the team's spirits. Connor Kennett got a touchdown in the last moments of this quarter, advancing the Greyhounds leads 30-14 over the Bearcats. Our crowd is super pumped up tonight over this lead, so hopefully this energy continues on throughout the fourth quarter. Be sure to stick around to see what happens next on UINDY TV.
To them, the whole world looks like an opportunity, one to be seized, built upon, and made better for their sport and the people around it. To student athletes, every opportunity is a chance to change what could be and show the world what opportunity can do.
Welcome back here on UINDY TV. Nathaniel Finch with Caden Colford, and looking at some of the statistics here. Look at the Greyhounds. They've just dominated so much. 272 rushing yards compared to 78 yards through the air. They just haven't had to air the ball out. The Greyhounds have done such a good job putting the ball on the ground and kind of taking the air out of the football. They've done a great job doing that today. For Southwest Baptist, though, they've got 195 passing yards to this point in the game, and they've just been able to dominate in that regard through the air, and that's what we thought the big matchup would be. The Greyhounds run game versus the passing defense of Indianapolis, kind of where they didn't have as much success. Of course, they're down a couple players to injury in Traven Hall and Landry Mavungu, so it's no wonder that they've been a bit short, undermanned, I would say, in the secondary, and Cooper Collis and the Southwest Bearcats team has done a nice job picking them apart throughout this second half. From the 29-yard line, starts the drive with Toriano Clinton, a running back. Spread formation, but it's a handoff to Clinton, and he has a big gain ahead of him, past the 40 to the 41-yard line before he's brought down, but not after the chains move. Brought down by Matthew Bell.
And that's been the story of this offense today. When in doubt, give it to Toriano Clinton.
First down and 10 now from the 41. Kennett out of a spread again. Means 2 receivers to each side. He's going to look to hand the ball off. No, he's going to keep it himself, ready to throw this one down the field. He's got a guy open, and Lee, he can't get his feet down. He cannot get both feet down, or rather, he can't get any of his feet down in bounds, as the ball is just a tad bit off target. Nice job on coverage was Brighton Louis and Brandon Smith.
It looked to me like Kennett rushed that throw just a tad bit. The pocket was collapsing on him, and he had to make a decision.
Props, though, to Jeremiah Lee, who did a great job kind of keeping his feet in bounds, or trying to, rather, giving his best effort there. Clinton's going to stand out of a pistol. He'll get the handoff from there. He'll take off, and look at him. Off to the races again. He evades another tackler, and yet again moves the chains. A first down rush, and this time on the other side of the field at the Bearcats 49. That's where Samuel Steffe brought him down.
And his vision is incredible to me. We have an aerial view, and I have no idea where that hole was that he slipped through.
He'll take a breather here, of course, during the last timeout. They just announced the dedication of tonight's game ball to Toriano Clinton and his family. His mother had accepted it on his behalf, and something he talked about in that interview that I had with him earlier in the week, just that, you know, all these accomplishments and accolades, they go to his family more than he really cares about him, and that was evident there as Lenny Bennett gets the handoff and kind of lasers through traffic before he's brought down. A great gain on first, get him 8 yards before he is brought down at the 41-yard line. Jerron Siebold gets the tackle there. That'll set up 2nd down and 2 from the 41-yard line. Trying to sustain a drive here, and they are trying to do that with Connor Kennett rushing with his feet. And look at that, he slides down and then is hit. That should be grounds to throw a flag, but the referees think that otherwise, but he still gets past the 30, though, and what a play to get to the 28-yard line. Again, we've talked about it time and time again today. Connor Kennett is a very athletic quarterback that not a lot of people realize.
Definitely. And that fake handoff, that's an art. That is most definitely an art. And having running backs such as Toriano Clinton and other running backs that are so skillful just opens that up for him.
Kennett, the 6'4", 215-pound frame. You don't envision him as a guy that can run the ball around the way he does, but the sophomore from Harrison High School in Cincinnati has been very impressive. Here is another sophomore, this time Lenny Bennett, who takes the handoff and gets all the way out to the 20, a gain of 9 on first down.
And they're really, really getting into a rhythm now. They're pushing the ball with ease.
Clinton and Bennett have basically been swapping out every 1 to 2 plays. It's been a great 1-2 punch between those two, and a big reason why this game is at the point where it is. Clinton today, that is, with 20 attempts for 186 yards. Man, look at that. What a stat line he has. But Bennett also has 9 for 68. Toriano Clinton out of the pistol gets the handoff, and he'll dive his way forward before he is brought down. Maybe by just the offensive and defensive line in general. What a play by them. Colton Smith combined with Matt Locker to get the tackle. He saw he didn't have a hole that time, and he made his own by jumping over the pile. Got enough for a first down.
If nothing else, he's creative.
And now at the 19-yard line, the offense operates out of the red zone. First and 10 from the 19. Handoff, sweep to the right side with Clinton, and he is slung down by a couple different Southwest Baptist players, one of which was Matthew Bell, also helped by Nate Stelkin. Give him a gain of 2, put him down at the 16-yard line. It is second down and medium now from that 16-yard line. Greyhounds trying to increase the lead here, and what a dagger it'd be if they could do that. Man in motion is Jeremiah Lee. He takes the fake handoff, looking to throw down the field. Toriano Clinton for a touchdown. He can do more than just run the ball. He gets the receiving touchdown. His hat trick.
That was just a great use of misdirection by the offense. They had the defense completely shifted to the right side, and what do you know? They go left. There's a touchdown.
And Toriano has proven that he can do more than just run the ball. We talked about how he came into the game tied for first. He eventually broke that record on his first rushing touchdown of the day, but tied for first in total touchdowns because he can score them on kickoff returns as he's done so well. He can do it through the air like he did there, and then obviously these 42 rushing touchdowns he's had in his career. Make that 43 rushing touchdowns. Let me give you the correct number, which was their record breakers. The PAT successful from Colin Seymour. The lead is increased 37-17 the score as we step aside here on UINDY TV. Back here with a view from the north end zone of Key Stadium. Turf that's around 8 or 9 years old. We can see it's held up pretty well, and definitely doing the Greyhounds plenty of favors tonight as they've had such a good day on offense. 37 points scored. They had 44 points in that 44-38 win against Ohio Dominican last week on the road in Columbus, Ohio, and today trying to surpass that number. Colin Seymour with the kickoff here. A high end over end kick. It'll be fair caught at the 25-yard line by the running back and Abel Carter. So now you're getting to the point in the game down by 20 points where you really got to just find a way to score quickly. You don't have a lot of time to milk the clock.
Exactly. And with only 3 timeouts and it being a 3-possession game, you really have to manage them wisely.
The offense for Southwest Baptist comes onto the field fresh off that last drive, which ended in a field goal. It's a 12-play, 84-yard drive that took about 4 minutes off the clock, but started all the way back at the UINDY 7. This time they get a little bit easier of a start. It's from the 26-yard line. Handoff goes to Carter, lowers his shoulder, but Cavante Houston and Kiave Guerrier, Kyle Borski in there as well, help bring him down. Second down and medium from the 29-yard line. Collis with the spread formation. Man in motion is Preston Carson. He's looking to throw. Carson's open if he wants him. Instead, he'll go to the other side, keeping his feet in bounds. Now stepping out was his wide receiver, Curtis Colliard. First down. Great way to move the chains and stop the clock simultaneously. 38-yard line.
A lot can happen in 10.5 minutes, but this is nothing but a tall task for this Bearcat offense.
Three receivers set to the near side. That's on the right side of this view that you're seeing now from the north end zone. Handoff goes to Carter, who stiff arms. How about that stiff arm to push forward? He does get help. Ends up being brought down at the 45-yard line. The Greyhounds do a good job bringing him down. Kyle Borski helps out.
That's just a powerful run play on all sides there. The offensive line looked good, and of course you had Carter, who laid him on the dirt.
Second down and 3 from the 45. Kent's in motion, trying to see if this defense is playing man-to-man. They're not. They're going with the zone look. They're going to throw deep down the field. Caught, and now stepping out of bounds again with Colliard. A nice catch and a nice way to move the chains yet again. A great gain on second down.
That really was a nice route, a nice play design. Got out of bounds in time and stopped the clock.
Now the ball is down in enemy territory at the Greyhounds' 41-yard line. After that 14-yard gain to move the chains. Brandon Thomas had the tackle. He's having himself a decent game today, filling in. And a sack comes in and the ball's out. Picked up though by Southwest Baptist. Abel Carter advances it a couple yards. It'll ultimately be a loss of 3, but a strip sack from Kyle Borski and Benjamin Hunias. Well, we see here, just they meet at the quarterback and the ball squirts out. Guerrier's going to be kicking himself that he couldn't have caught that. That'll bring up second down and 13 now from the 44. Bit of a setback, but this drive's been going so well. Clock is running down. Down by 20. Handoff goes to Carter, and how about that? Right away, Aaron Barnett brings him to the ground and pile drives him into the dirt. Abel Carter with nothing there. He'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage. That'll set up third down and a mile.
And UIndy's really starting to get back to that pressure that they had in the first half. Starting to overwhelm this Bearcat offensive line. It really seems like Southwest Baptist is taking a lot of time in between plays here, and they don't have a lot of time to work with.
From the 44-yard line, you mentioned it, time continuing to click off the clock. As it ticks down further and further, looking to throw. Collis to the far side, and it's caught. We've seen a lot of receptions here today. This time was Blake Gordon making his first catch, the 5'10 redshirt freshman.
And once again, that's a bad decision based on time management there. He had the opportunity to get out of bounds early, but elects to stay in bounds.
Again, still 7.5 minutes to go, but when you're down by 20 points, you need to be able to put up some quick drives and not take this time off the clock. Around the GLVC, Quincy has a 7-0 lead over Missouri S&T, and McKendree defeated William Jewell today 45-34 in the first week of conference play. 4th down and 4. It's a big one here. Plenty of time, looks to throw, launches it to the end zone. Kent goes up and comes down incomplete. Jordan Kent climbed the ladder, But the coverage was just too good by the safety tandem of Michael Brown and Cavante Houston.
And the pressure definitely got the callus on that one right there. On the left side, the edge was so close, and he barely got that ball off.
So now a drive that results in 0 points gives the Greyhounds a great outlook here in front of this homecoming crowd. They're going to just try to continue to run the air right out of this football. Indianapolis' last few drives have resulted, the last one was about a 4-minute drive. Before that was 5.5 minutes. So if they can get right around there, about a 10-play, 5-minute drive, then they can salt this game away right in front of this homecoming crowd's eyes. Handoff goes to Toriano Clinton, who breaks it away for a big one past the 50 to the 46-yard line. And brought down eventually by Kellen Curtis.
Expect a lot more plays like that. They're probably going to keep the ball on the ground the rest of the game. Don't want to give up any interceptions, any turnovers, any faulty miscues.
And that rush puts Toriano Clinton over 200 yards on the day. His magnificent outing in homecoming currently increases to 207 rushing yards. Lenny Bennett into the game now as Kevin McNeilis in motion from the 48. Now in enemy territory already after one play. Bennett gets the handoff. He makes a quick high step and is brought down there on the play by Matthew Bell. Assisted on the play by Mason Dunn. Jeremiah Lee enters the game. Again, so impressive how these wide receivers, the wide receiver room is so deep that they just switch 2 to 3 receivers every play. You always have fresh guys to come in. Big testament to why they've been able to do so well at wide receivers so far this season. Out of the pistol formation is Connor Kinnett. Handoff goes to Kellen Porter. He'll gain a few yards. Give him 2 past the 45 to the 44-yard line. And that will set up 3rd down and 6.
And we've talked about the depth of this wide receiver squad, and it's really crazy to me how they can be so talented, but yet a lot of these guys aren't getting the volume that they would get on other teams.
Bennett stays in the game, but it was Toriano Clinton who last year, we talked about he's over 200 yards. Now, last year he had 197 yards in just the first quarter against Southwest Baptist. He had himself an amazing day at Bolivar, Missouri, but here at home he's having himself an even better one. 3 touchdowns, 2 on the ground, as it's a 3rd down and 6. And how about that? The defense comes through with Colton Smith. Last year led the nation in tackles. He's this player's heart and soul. Probably the team's best player in general is Colton Smith, and look at that. He just barrels right into Lenny Bennett.
He is showing everybody why he is the premier player on this team.
I'd contend that he's one of the top 3-4 linebackers in the entire nation. He's such an impressive player, and last year was his first full season because he was just such a banged-up player due to injury, but last year able to get that full season on tape, and like I said, he led the nation in tackles, so I'd say he had a pretty successful campaign. Trying to do more of the same this year. Here's the punt from Ryan Zoller. It's fair caught at the 16-yard line by Brendan Smith.
And that's another good punt. I'll give props to the UINDY special teams today. They've really kept the ball within the opponent's 20. And as an offense, starting back that close to your own end zone every single drive gets tiring.
Inside of 4 minutes to go here in the game in front of this homecoming crowd. The Greyhounds had their homecoming festivities all throughout the week, all culminating to this one event, and it's the UINDY football game. Greyhounds trying to move forward to 4-0 is their record on the year. Of course, ranked number 14 in the nation by the coaches poll. From the 17 years where the drive's going to start for Cooper Collis and this team. He steps up in the pocket, launches it down past the chains. It's caught at the 31. That's where the ball's going to be spot by Preston Carson. Carson so far today has 3 catches, that is, for about 17 yards. Moves the chains to the 31. Collis needing to get some points quickly. The blitz comes, everyone comes, and he launches this downfield, takes a big shot, and it's intercepted by Cavante Houston. The Greyhounds on the other end. At the 40 now, Houston cutting it back upfield, and he stays on his feet. Finally dropped down at the 30. He is brought down by a big hit from the left tackle, Dami Oyesanya. But how about that? Cavante Houston with one heck of a play. Jumps up, gets the interception, and runs it back. His first interception of the season.
And Callis and his wide receivers just haven't been on the same page today. There's been numerous times where wide receivers were running routes that Callis didn't seem like he knew they were running.
It was back in high school for Cavante Houston. That was at Marist High School in Chicago, Illinois. He had 6 career interceptions, but returned half of them for touchdowns. And we see there, he was looking for pay dirt on that lengthy return. Ended up being about a 20, 30-yard interception return.
And as a defensive player, you know his eyes got so wide when he saw that ball coming.
Sudden change, now the offense at the 30-yard line of the Bearcats. Just trying to run the ball some more, and they'll do that with Connor Kennett using his legs, and he gets past the first down marker before he is tackled down from behind for Mason Dunn.
And it's been an impressive showing for him on the ground today and in the air.
So far today, he's got 9 carries, about 50 yards and a touchdown. The last time a Greyhound went for 200 yards rushing on the ground like Clinton has today, that was last season towards the end of the year against Quincy. That was when Toriano Clinton broke the single season rushing record, and today it was total touchdowns and rushing touchdowns as a career hound that he broke en route to a 207 rushing yard day. Here is Kennett to the end zone for his second rushing touchdown of this evening. How about that? Connor Kennett, not content with just running the time off the clock. He wants to add more to the score, and he increases this lead even further. 43-17 the score.
They definitely wanted to make a statement here. They kind of felt disrespected at halftime, and we got that impression from Keevers during his halftime interview, so I doubt they let off the gas at all.
Colin Seymour ready for this PAT. He's been perfect this year in PATs, and he increases the lead now to 27 points. The Greyhounds thumping Southwest Baptist in front of a homecoming crowd. More next on UINDY TV. Back here at Key Stadium, Nathaniel Finch with Caden Colford, and here in about 2 minutes and 44 game seconds, we're going to go down to the sideline with Sydney Smith and have a sideline report down there, an interview with head coach Chris Keevers following this game, as well as a couple of player interviews. Potentially Connor Kennett and Toriano Clinton both interviewed after the game. Of course, our wonderful sideline reporter Sydney Smith for tonight. We'll see how that progresses, but up here in the booth, we're watching a lot of offense for Indianapolis. It started slow, some 3-and-outs from each team, a really defensive battle to start, but then all of a sudden we realized it was everything this game we thought it would be.
The Bearcats definitely came to play, but they just kind of wore down the size and strength, and the experience of this UIND team just wore them down.
Seymour, the kickoff specialist, he'll squib this one, which is going to roll to about the 20-yard line before it'll be picked up by Jordan Kent, and he is brought down a couple yards shy of the 30 at the 28, 29-yard line. That's where the drive's going to start here. Drive last time out that ended in an interception and just a duck that was tossed up after Collis got hit pretty hard, and we'll see if they can come out and play any better this drive. Then it being just a 2-play, 14-yard drive, so they found a way to be even worse than the 3-and-out. The offense comes onto the field. A new quarterback into the game here for Southwest Baptist is Logan Claiborne. Is going to take the final few snaps tonight. And the goal here for the offense, just move the ball down the field, take some time, take your time, but just try to find some substance of offense. And here Claiborne's going to try to do it himself. A bit tripped up, and he's brought down now by the Greyhounds.
The turf monster ran up and got him there.
Justin Thomas aided that turf monster, the defensive lineman for Indianapolis. So now we've got a second down and medium from the 33. Claiborne stays in the game. Seems like Cooper Callis' day is done. He didn't play too poorly, but now we're going to see aired out in the corner. Incomplete pass just out of reach of Kylan Herrera, as there we just saw an instance where Herrera was wide open and just a little overthrown.
And, you know, they've gone to that play over and over today, but it just hasn't panned out.
We're going to see a third down and medium now. Greyhounds bring the nickel package out with an extra defensive back. Two minutes and dropping off the clock. Here at Key Stadium in front of a homecoming crowd. Claiborne out of the gun. He's going to look to throw. Incomplete pass, intercepted. It's Corey's Crawford for Indianapolis, who's taking it the other way, trying to find pay dirt himself, and he is wrestled down hard by the offensive lineman, Ndami Oyesanya, who now has 2 tackles on the day on back-to-back drives because of interceptions from not only Cooper Callis, but now Logan Claiborne in an injury on the field. With that, we're going to step aside here and return momentarily on UINDY TV.
Life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Back at Key Stadium, and it was Corey's Crawford who had that interception, his 3rd of the season, the transfer from Siena Heights University in Adrian, Michigan. But unfortunately for him, ended up sustaining an injury and was helped off the field. So you get the interception, it's garbage time, and you get tackled awkwardly, and now he has to spend the rest of the week in the training room. As, of course, we're going to see the kneel-down team come onto the field for Indianapolis, as they don't want to risk any more injury. Christian Conkling, the quarterback, in to put his knee to the turf.
You know, it really is a bummer to see Crawford go out like that after a solid game today and a solid season overall.
I mean, he leads the Greyhounds in interceptions with 3. He's having himself a great year, and you sure hope that he's able to be given the treatment needed and able to come back with a speedy recovery. As the Greyhounds going to stand around, making for some very interesting television, as you can imagine, standing around waiting for the final 10 seconds to tick off the clock here before they can put their knee in the dirt for a 2nd time in a row. Ryan Heltzley and Kamau Ransom into the backfield to accompany Christian Conkling. Got time for at least one more of those here on 3rd down, and then we'll see what the final 4th down play is. They should be able to just let the clock bleed all the way down. But again, remember that when we go down to the sideline, we're going to have potentially 3 interviews with you. Guaranteed going to talk to Coach Chris Keevers. And then we might even have a couple player interviews for you. Wait and see how those go with Sidney Smith.
And we're expecting Coach Keevers to be in a lot better mood than he was at halftime, for sure.
And that final knee goes to the turf and finishes out this game 44-17, the final score tonight. Homecoming night, plenty in attendance, and what a way to give this crowd what they want. A thumping of Southwest Baptist, only allowing 17 points and putting up 44 did the Greyhounds. What an impressive day for Toriano Clinton, who moves to first all-time in total touchdowns and rushing touchdowns as a Greyhound in a 3-score performance. You couldn't ask for much more from the Greyhounds offense today.
Oh, no, it was definitely a successful homecoming, and I'll give props to the Bearcats. They came in ready to play. They had a really good first half. Their defense was solid, but when that second half came about, UINDY they got it together, and they fired on all cylinders tonight.
Fireworks fired off in that far corner of the end zone to get this crowd excited even more. And what an exciting finish to this game as the Greyhounds able to put up plenty of points today. Taking a look at their scoring summary, it was just all Indianapolis at the end. Connor Kennett had that pass to Clinton for the 16-yard strike, and then he ran it in himself, did Connor Kennett, for the 18-yard rushing touchdown. Those both the 2 lone scores in the fourth quarter, and it was just a very impressive win here from Indianapolis. Looking at the rest of the schedule for UINDY as they now advance to 4-0 on the year, and you got to imagine they're going to continue to slowly crawl up that coach's poll and continue to increase their national ranking. They're going to travel to Lebanon, Illinois next Saturday. Then they're going to travel to Michigan for Saginaw Valley State on October 15th. And that's the weekend after that is when we're going to have 2 straight home games here at Key Stadium. Both of those will be here on UINDY TV as Quincy will come to town on Saturday the 22nd, Missouri S&T on October the 29th. Plenty of opportunities here in this GLVC schedule coming up. As you see, it was that man who was injured earlier in Carice Crawford able to walk over and join the team's huddle.
And it's really great to see him walking under his own strength.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of hope for what he's going to be able to do here in that recovery. And you sure hope that it's just an awkward landing that he ended up being able to recover from. You sure hope the way that he's able to get up and walk around, but no idea from up here. Looking at some of the final statistics here for Indianapolis, how about this? 373 rushing yards today on 52 carries. They just dominated the ball on the ground. Didn't have to do as much through the air, only 94 passing yards, but that's what happens when you got a guy like Toriano Clinton and just the whole stable of backs that they have to put up the points and the rushing numbers they were. For UINDY, they did so much good in this game. What do you think that they're going to be able to use moving forward when they play some tougher teams?
When they play some tougher teams, look, Toriano shines bright under bright lights. He is that guy. He embraces the pressure. He embraces the intensity. If you want to run him down, sure, you could try, but he's going to run right through your face.
Southwest Baptist hosts William Jewell College next Saturday. That's their homecoming game, and then they're going to travel to Kirksville, Missouri to take on Truman State. And the next 2 GLVC games for them is now we're going to prepare to head down to the sideline here in just a few moments with Coach Keevers joining our Sydney Smith. 44-17, again, the final score today in front of this homecoming crowd. And so excited are all these fans here for this game. And, man, just, again, to highlight Toriano Clinton, look at this final stat line. 23 carries, 207 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. That's just on the ground. He also had a catch for 16 yards and a touchdown through the air. A very impressive day he had with his whole family here to celebrate and everyone to celebrate his accomplishments as maybe the best Greyhound running back ever. Let's go down to the sideline.
How does that make you feel now?
Oh, I feel better. We cleaned some things up. Offense ran the ball really well in the second half. Defense tightened some things up, didn't give up so many big plays. Really happy with our finish.
Absolutely. What do you think caused that motivation to have a strong finish?
Well, our team is very motivated. We got great people that work very hard, and we've paid the price to win, and we're winning games in the fourth quarter. You watch us play. We're finishing off people because we believe in each other, and we want it. We're excited about winning.
Yeah, absolutely. How does it feel winning at this big homecoming game?
It's always good to win homecoming. This is our 15th out of 16.
That's impressive.
Yeah, we win homecoming. We win at home. That's how that's how you win league championships. That's how you go to playoffs. You got to win at home.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
A big thank you to Sydney Smith and Coach Keevers for that interview. Here momentarily we're going to hear from Connor Kennett. Let's go down to the sideline again with Sydney Smith and now Toriano Clinton and Connor Kennett. Big props to these two players today.
All right. I'm joined here with Connor Kennett and Toriano Clinton, some of our best players here on UIndy football. So, Connor, you've had a pretty physical game today. You ran for multiple touchdowns, and you got your first touchdown of your career. You're on your way to giving Toriano a run for his money. How do you think about that?
I don't think I'll ever give Toriano Clinton a run for his money. So I got to give props to the O-line. They blocked their butts off tonight.
Absolutely. How do you feel after winning that physical game, and what do you do to keep motivated?
We started off slow tonight, but we kind of got things going towards the end. So we just got to stay hungry the rest of the year and go to Monday ready to go for the next week.
Yeah, absolutely. And Toriano, you've been super game hungry. You've had two records in the past week, one with rushing yards and one with your 44th career touchdown. How do you feel about these great accomplishments as a player?
I'm excited. It's always fun to come out here with the guys, play with the guys. I love my offense. Them boys block their ass up from, can I say that? Well, you know, they block for me well. I'm just happy to be part of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations on your win tonight, especially on homecoming night. I'm sure it feels great. And thank you, everybody, for joining us here on UIndy TV News here at Key Stadium.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Sideline report down there. Again, thanks for those two players to come over and have that interview with Sydney, Toriano Clinton, and Connor Kennett, who both had great days. Kennett today, 7 of 13 for a touchdown and 94 yards. He also added with a few carries on the ground and 2 touchdowns of his own, 10 carries for 73 yards. But the story of the game is Toriano Clinton, 23 carries, 207 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The final score tonight, UIndy 44, Southwest Baptist University 17. In the day that saw Toriano Clinton moving into first place in all-time rushing touchdowns and total touchdowns. We would like to thank you for joining us tonight. For our crew here at UIndy TV, our sideline reporter Sydney Smith, my broadcast partner Caden Colford, I'm Nathaniel Finch, saying so long from Key Stadium.